Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hello there, very good morning to you. Question, is Prince Andrew about to become the first royal for a very long time to be investigated by the police?
Well, the Metropolitan Police look into claims that the Prince asked a bodyguard to dig up dirt on Virginia's Louvre.
But just one day before her book is published, is there more to come?
Ahead of the London summit on tackling illegal migration, there's warnings that Russian spies could be working with people smugglers to flood Europe with migrants.
The Louvre heist that took place yesterday shocks the world. Priceless jewellery stolen in broad daylight and up a ladder. But will a manhunt uncover who is responsible?
The ceasefire in Gaza resumes after the killing of 2 Israeli soldiers and at least 36 Palestinians. President Trump repeated his support for peace on Air Force One.
It's going to be handled properly. It's going to be handled toughly but properly.
Is the ceasefire still in place?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Life in the countryside takes another blow. New GB News data shows rural pubs and shops closing at a record rate. The president of the Countryside Association took aim at the government.
I see no sign at all that this government is interested in rural policy. It seems to be working against us at every stage. What the Chancellor hasn't learned or understood is that you can't tax people into growth.
It's official, driverless cars are coming to London next year. We're going to be debating if robot drivers are the future at 7:20 this morning.
And in sport this morning was good day yesterday for Eamonn. Bad one for me, as Manchester United went away at Liverpool for the first time in a decade and Spurs lose at home to Aston Villa. Max Verstappen wins the US Grand Prix, making his 5th World Championship now a real possibility. And England's women reached the semi-final of the Cricket World Cup.
Well, after what was a rather dull and drab week just gone, there's plenty of weather in the forecast this week. I'll have all of the details coming up shortly.
Hello there, a very good morning to you on this Monday morning. You're starting your day and your week with us. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
So much annoying me today.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's not a good start.
The depletion of the countryside.
Yeah.
Terrible. And, you know, and the government is being criticised, but none of them understand. No politicians understand. The system's just rubbish, and they don't care about how people survive in the countryside. They don't care. That's my view, right? What do you want to talk
all the
about?
time, and it's interesting you say that because that's a FOI investigation by Jack Castle. We're going to have that for you later. But also, there's this report in the Daily Mail today that they are blaming coffee shop culture for the closure of pubs. They're saying so many young people want a latte now, or a cappuccino, or a flat white.
Yep.
They don't want to go into a pub and drink because they're all teetotal.
Yeah, they're all very careful about what they drink these days.
Excuse me, I'm teetotal, but I go
you
into
love
pubs.
a pub.
Do you?
Yeah. I go into pubs. I like the sociability of pubs.
Nice.
And what
Went
do you
to a
get?
pub yesterday. Had a lovely lunch at a pub yesterday.
Yeah, nice. Nothing like a pub lunch. I agree.
And what would you have, Diet Coke instead?
Huh?
Would you have a Diet Coke instead?
That's what I had, 2 of them.
Well, there you go.
I was
I know you too well.
You're partial to a little lager beer every now and again. No, what do you want? A little lager beer.
I could have a shandy, yeah.
Treat yourself every now and again. The other thing they blame is Netflix. They're saying people would actually rather be at home in front of Netflix than out and about chatting.
People are
in a pub.
lazy.
That's
Right,
sad,
here's my problem with Netflix. I'll say to Paul, see anything good on the telly recently? And maybe I'll say, I did. And I saw a great film the other night, and it was on Paramount.
Prime.
Right. And Paul said to me, who's in it? And I went,
what's his name?
Your man who was in that
the fella.
one. You don't know the channel.
He was in that film with the other one.
The other one.
And the woman that's in that film with the other thing.
So we don't have any identification. It's not like watching something like The Vicar of Dibley. And you say, class,
know where it belongs.
Did you see The Vicar of Dibley? That was brilliant. It was whatever. You don't know what channel they're on. You don't know who's in it. You don't.
There's so many. I mean, when Ellie has gone, oh, yeah, that's... Well, you two were talking about a series the other day.
House of Guinness. I'm telling you to watch House of Guinness.
Where was that on? And you seem to have found it, and then I haven't found it, and then it's...
Yeah, no, I give up on it.
And by the time I find it, it's time to go to bed, and then I can watch half of it, and then that's it.
Watch 15 minutes before bed. That's it.
I'm Irish, and I still just didn't get it.
What, House of Guinness?
Yeah, but I tell you who I thought was very good. Is it James Norton?
James Norton, very good actor.
And... brilliant accent.
Apparently he's up for... Well, that's good from an Irishman. Very good. But also he's up for James Bond. Apparently he's in the running. I think he'd be very good.
Oh, yeah.
James Norton. Are you familiar with his work?
Yes, I am familiar with his work. Yes, I think he'd make a lovely James Bond.
Very good.
That's another one I have to compete against.
Listen, that's not a problem. You know who you've got to compete against?
Who?
What's his name? You know the fella that was in that film with the other fella? That's the one. He's good.
Yeah,
very good.
OK. Very good. Well, we're very good. We're with you until 9:30 this morning. Paul will be with you in 20 minutes' time. Top story.
The embattled Prince Andrew faces a potential police investigation as the Metropolitan Police are looking into claims that the Prince pressured a bodyguard to dig up personal details on Virginia Giuffre.
So what's the problem?
Well, pressure is mounting on Sir Keir Starmer to change it. Oh, what do you mean?
But I mean, why can't Andrew say to a cop, "Oi, look into your woman"?
I think there's a problem with data protection, and I think the claim is that he had her social security number, her American social security number. So if he's sharing her details with his private security officer, that is against the law under data protection.
Well,
I think
I take it all
you
back.
put me on the spot there, but I think that's what the issue would be.
Here is the big thing. Virginia Giuffre, who has now passed away, she's got a book coming out, and it's coming out tomorrow. And the big worry is for a lot of people, not us, but if you're royal, the big worry, what could be inside that book?
Yeah, is there more to come? Well, let's speak now to historian Martin Whittock, who joins us now. Very good morning to you, Martin.
Good morning.
Do you think there is more to come? Do you think this is just the tip of the iceberg?
I think there is more to come. As you rightly said, there are the allegations about the misuse of a close protection officer's position, data protection, the US social security number that allegedly was used in order to find out information about Virginia, which would be illegal and be improper to use a close security officer in that way. But much more significant than that, I think, actually, is the fact that the harrowing information that will come out in the posthumous work of Virginia, which will be published tomorrow, although it is beginning to be seen by the BBC, the press, and other organisations. And looking at some of the quotes from within that book, I mean, these are allegations, of course, that Prince Andrew has denied, but they are harrowing, deeply, deeply disturbing. They allege the most appalling behaviour towards underage girls. Now, obviously, the Prince denies all of these things, but this is mounting and mounting and mounting, and it really is difficult to know how he can survive this. He has said he was not going to use his royal titles from now on, although it would actually take an act of Parliament to remove his title of Duke of York. And as son of a monarch, he remains Prince, which could be changed if letters patent were issued by the King. Now, this would be really unprecedented, and yet at the moment we are living in a period of unprecedented breaking news yet again about connections, alleged connections between the Prince and Epstein and with young girls. And I am beginning to wonder whether we are about to see some really unprecedented action in response. As I say, it would require an act of Parliament to remove his dukedom and letters patent issued by the King. But these would be extraordinary things to do.
But Martin, would this explain why he, so relatively easily has stepped away from his titles and his positions?
I think you're right. I think that the news over the weekend of his voluntary decision to do this must be, I think, associated with the fact that he knew that this week more allegations were going to come. And obviously we have these two-pronged allegations, one about the misuse of position with close security officers using this kind of data, but also this absolute bombshell of this tragic posthumous book that is being published tomorrow. He must have been aware of this. He'd have been alerted to this. And I suspect that he has stepped away voluntarily in order to try to diffuse a situation. But I think this is beyond diffusing.
What do you think will happen with Royal Lodge in Great Windsor Park, where Prince Andrew lives with Sarah Ferguson? Do you think we could see a point where he's asked to move out?
I think this is actually possible now. Now, we don't know exactly what kind of response the royal household and the King will make towards this, but this will obviously be deeply distressing to the King and indeed to the whole royal family. But it also is disastrous for the whole Windsor brand. I mean, these terrible accusations, tragic, harrowing accusations, these kind of things being associated with a prince of the blood must inevitably have repercussions for the whole Windsor brand. And I think there must be discussions going on today within the palace about steps that would be, as I say, unprecedented. But then these are unprecedented times and unprecedented, harrowing, disgraceful, appalling accusations. We must say, of course, the Prince denies them, and yet they are mounting and mounting and mounting. And when one reads them, one has to say something surely must be done.
Have you ever met him, Martin?
I've not actually met him, no.
No, you wouldn't like him. Arrogant, boorish, pompous, ignorant, dismissive. He could happily sit across from you at a table, which he has done with me, and not speak to you for the whole evening. He has got an air about him, which a lot of people would think, why, who are you? So he's not like.
As you say, there are so many reports that talk about an extreme level of entitlement. And I think that's the kind of thing that comes out of all of these things, the kind of feeling that there are people who feel they can do anything and get away with anything because of who they are. And clearly there are many people saying that Prince Andrew is just such a person. I've not met him myself, but those kind of insights you were giving there do chime with the reports of so many people who speak about an extreme entitled attitude that seems to assume one can do anything and get away with anything. Well, the get away with anything is now being stress tested to the most extraordinary degree.
But yet he's not like other people in his family. He's not like Prince Edward. He's not like Princess Anne. Different attitudes, different personalities from them.
And this is a tragedy, isn't it? Because it reminds one about how one person within a family, or within a corporation, or within a business, or within any kind of social setting, can be so different to other people who are setting a very different tone. But then when that person does do that, of course, the onus is then upon the wider organisation to decide what do we do about this in order to protect the family as well as to protect the institution, as well as to make the right sort of response to these appalling situations. You're right. You think of all the royals who are doing so much day in, day out, and yet this is grabbing the headlines. And really, it has to stop.
Well, I doubt it's going to stop, my friend, but going to be interesting over the next few weeks and what's coming. Martin, great to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for your views and your analysis this morning. We have to leave it there. Thank you very much.
Well, Prince Andrew, thank you very much, has previously and continues to deny any wrongdoing. The Metropolitan Police are currently looking into the claims.
The French president has said authorities are doing everything possible to recover the jewellery, priceless jewellery, stolen from the Louvre yesterday.
Yes, masked thieves broke in through a ladder after 10:30 a.m. local time before fleeing on motorbikes just 7 minutes later.
They knew what they were doing, didn't they?
Absolutely.
This Napoleon III's wife's crown was found damaged outside, so they dropped that one. Field journalist for Le JDD, Alexandra Mendel, joins us now. Alexandra, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Well, what a job. I mean, you look at this, they couldn't have done this without inside help. I mean, I have a theory. I think this was an inside job. I think they stole to order on this one. I mean, what would you like to add to that, or would you disagree with me?
Well, if you have any evidence of that, then you can call the French police. They might have, some investigation going on, and they have no idea probably of what really went on. Have another idea. It's a crumbling country, and if you can, just rob the biggest museum on earth with a ladder in 7 minutes while there are visitors. It's a metaphor of France right now. It's like, as I told you, it's a crumbling country. We cannot even lock the door right now. But you see, we cannot lock the door to the migrants, and we cannot lock the door of the finest museum of art in the world. It's truly a deep embarrassment for the country right now. And I guess President Macron didn't really need that to reshape his image of a failing president.
So, Alexandra, tell us about what was stolen.
Well, they stole several jewels from the First and Third Empire of France. One was actually found not that far away from the truck that they left outside. It was broken. They stole 6 items, actually. It's difficult to evaluate how much they're worth money. It's the memory of France, so it's worth money, but it's also worth the memory of our country.
We'd love to talk to you for a lot longer, my friend, but someone's stolen your sound this morning. It's not very good, so please forgive us. We genuinely would like to talk to you longer, but your sound, your audio keeps breaking up, so we got to say goodbye to you. Maybe we'll talk to you later in the programme, but thank you very, very much indeed. Thank you.
It's like something out of a film, isn't it, this heist?
Oh, yeah. But
broad daylight.
Listen, you don't pull an adder up outside the Louvre. Have you been to the Louvre?
Yeah.
And, that they knew where they were going. They knew what they were doing. This was well cased, well done. And there is the ladder there. I'm telling you, somebody inside has told them, come at 10:30, do this, the window will be open for you, whatever. And that's the first arrest they'll make.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sophisticated criminal gang, that's for sure. I mean, they were in and out in something like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
But how you get into the Louvre with a ladder, they had axe grinders, hammers, I mean, they had balaclavas on. I mean, how would you be able to get away with that in the middle of the day?
And what are they going to do with that jewellery? I mean, will they keep it intact? Will they sell it the way it is? Or do they break it up and sell it in bits and pieces? I mean, it's
good question.
A lot of money. Your views, your theories, let us know. Catherine Chalk's theories on the weather update. And it was very wet overnight, certainly here.
I mean, miserable all
London.
week.
Yes. Oh,
That's
here's Catherine. Good morning, Catherine.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, we have blustery, heavy showers across England and Wales today, with coastal gales in the south, but drier and brighter across Scotland. So we have low pressure dominating, bringing frequent showers across England and Wales. These are going to be heavy, containing the odd rumble of thunder and hail. Drier to the north of that into northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland with sunshine, but more persistent rain across the far north into Shetland. Otherwise, temperatures still around average for the time of year, but underneath all these heavy downpours and coastal gales in the south, probably feeling pretty unpleasant. So as we end Monday evening, we still hold on to this band of rain across Shetland. Otherwise, across much of Scotland, seeing some early evening sunshine. Likewise for Northern Ireland as well. Still a few showers around, but most of the showers still persisting across much of England and Wales. So they are still going to be heavy through this evening. So do take care during rush hour, as there could be some difficult driving conditions. The area of low pressure will shift its way eastwards though, so most of those showers will start easing away. We'll see some clear spells as we go Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then a focus for showers, more so coming into western areas. But under the clear skies, we may see temperatures fall, so chilly in some spots with a few mist and fog patches, but the winds generally easing as well. So as we start Tuesday morning, best of the sunshine really across eastern areas. Well, we'll hold on to the driest conditions for the longest, but otherwise through the day, further showers moving through, but they won't be as heavy or as frequent as what we'll see today. And the wind's not as strong, still breezy out there, but we lose those coastal gales. Otherwise, temperatures still around average, around 12 to 16 degrees. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Brave.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline.
Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off-limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it. That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless. But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
It is the biggest prize of the year, and it could be yours. It's our Great British Giveaway. You'll like this.
There's 2 weeks remaining in our latest greatest giveaway, and a prize worth over £104,000 really could be yours. You could be in the driving seat at this Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxurious home from home comes with all the mod cons, comfortably sleeps your family of 4, and comes fully kitted out with bicycle rack and side awning. Plus, you can use it with your current driving licence. We'll also boost your bank account with a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. It only takes one entry to become a winner, and that winner really could be you. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690, Derby, DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Okay, from good news to bad news, a lot of information obtained by GB News has revealed rural communities in the country are at risk of losing so many services.
Well, that includes everything from local shops, pubs and post offices. Our national reporter Jack Carson has the story.
So here we are in Driffield, East Yorkshire, my local market town, where the high street is struggling.
Whitewashed windows aren't a rare sight on Driffield's high street. Local farmer Rob Meadley has lived here all his life and believes countryside communities are being ignored. Freedom of information requests from 29 rural councils across the UK present a worrying picture. Last year, there were 17,000 vacant shops, offices and warehouses across 23 of the councils. In a third of those areas, vacant shops in 2025 have already surpassed last year's total. Across 11 of the local authorities, more pubs have closed than opened in the last 5 years. Nearly half are losing pubs at double or triple the rate they're being replaced. When it comes to vital services, numerous councils are closing bus routes and schools. This year alone, one Northamptonshire council has cut 22 bus routes, making it over 261 routes cut over the past 10 years.
Here's our winter wheat from this harvest, and this will go off to our local mill to make biscuits.
Rob's family have been farming here for over a century, but now he's worried life is becoming unsustainable.
It feels genuinely challenging, to be honest. You know, don't get me wrong, it's a wonderful place to live and it is fantastic, but all the costs that many people take for granted just feel like they are more to live out in the country, in the countryside, and the access to services is obviously a lot less. And unfortunately, a lot of our, village shops, post offices have closed. The policies of the current government do not consider the rural way of life at all.
Financial pressures on businesses in Driffield have resulted in many closing for good.
So here we are outside another shop. This was a small family-owned shoe shop, an independent shop that I and my family used, and again it's recently closed.
Earlier this year, the government announced up to £33 million in funding for the Rural England Prosperity Fund, used to improve local infrastructure and essential services and create jobs to grow the rural economy. But Victoria Vivian, president of the Country Land and Business Association, says Labour's policy is damaging these areas.
I see no sign at all that this government is interested in rural policy. It seems to be working against us at every stage. What the Chancellor hasn't learned or understood is that you can't tax people into growth. You can only invest in growth. And at the moment, investment has stalled and businesses are either hunkering down or going out of trade. So it's a pretty bleak winter we're looking at.
Shops and pubs are shutting and public transport is disappearing. Soon, Britain's rural communities could be gone too. Jack Carson, GB News.
What is happening to our world, to our country? Really, what is happening? It's just not life as we knew it, and country towns are going to close. That was Yorkshire there we're talking about, and I just think, this is what I think, politicians don't have a grasp on anything. Do practical things. There's lots of things they shouldn't be doing, sticking their nose in around the world, nothing to do with us, but that has got to do with us. And you're just going to get people, why would you move there? Why would you live there?
Yeah.
We couldn't.
Where are the jobs if all these places are closing? Yeah?
Yeah, pretty bad, pretty bad. Reflect on that now. Here is our daily reflection with Anglican Vicar Brenda.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hi, I'm Brenda, Vicar of an Anglican church. One day someone asked Jesus, which is the greatest commandment? And Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbour as yourself. In this reply, Jesus gives us an example of perfect love. Some of you might remember the song by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, The Power of Love. One Christmas in church, I played that music video, which shows the story of Joseph and Mary on their way to Bethlehem and Jesus being born. This song always makes me cry as I think about how much Jesus loves us all and what he did for us out of love. If only we could truly love our neighbour as ourselves, what a different world this would be. Because there's nothing vague about this commandment. It does not permit us to have unrestrained behaviour. Real love does not permit hate or selfishness or greed. Real love does not put money or fame first. It is, however, a statement about the miraculous power of love to turn around the worst of life's circumstance. To really love others is a brave and defiant act in a world obsessed with self and with more. My prayer for the whole world, especially the people of influence or power, is that our top priority would be to see the human side of all our neighbours and just love them. Think how many problems the world faces and what a difference real love would make. Amen.
Now, if you're travelling to work or school this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A9 southbound at Dalnaspedal is restricted for maintenance. Motorists should use caution. On the M48, a restriction of 7.5 tonnes for heavy goods vehicles is effective until further notice. In York, the A64 eastbound between the A1036 and A19 is closed due to a collision, with normal traffic expected between 9:15 and 9:30 this morning. On the M56 eastbound, 2 lanes are closed between junction 7 and 6 due to an incident. Additionally, a broken down vehicle on the M27 westbound between junction 5 and 4 has closed 1 lane. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come. You're a happy man, aren't you? Victory for Man U.
Why would I be? Amazing.
Finally.
Well,
You may
I'm
say.
happy. He won't be happy.
He won't be happy. It wasn't such a pretty picture for Spurs now. So we're going to be consoling Paul Coit next.
I'm Michelle Dewberry. This is Jubes & Co with you.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here. GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I'm looking at the back pages this morning,
I
Paul.
bet you are.
He's having a lovely time this morning.
They're good headlines, you know, and Field of Dreams. That's
good.
That's someone more like it.
I like that too.
There as well. Yeah, there's good one, Harry the Hero, and I'll say this about Harry Maguire. He has his critics and whatever, but I'm not one of them. His passion, his commitment, his goal-scoring record. I mean, the idea that he comes up front and then he hits these all-important goals. What a win. I wasn't expecting that yesterday.
Well, there you go. Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2. You never know. The thing is, there's that strange thing about Manchester United, isn't there? And it doesn't matter how badly you seem to be doing. Every now and again, it doesn't matter who the manager is, there's some game that seems to come out of nowhere. Whether this has come out of nowhere or this is going to be a trend now, this is the thing. It's just whether it's going to last.
Well, it's a massive win to win at Anfield.
First win at Anfield in nearly a decade. Liverpool, and so we look at them. So, I mean, there's two stories here. It's like Manchester United, amazing result for them. But then you look at Liverpool, who at the start of the season, well, at the end of last season, they actually walked the Premier League so easily, then spent 450 million quid
and Paul, they were my tip,
on players.
They were my tip to win again this year.
Well, I wasn't quite so sure. So there were all these last-minute winners, which often people say, oh, it's a sign of a great team. When you score right at the end, sign of a great team. And maybe that was papering over the cracks. Now they've lost 4 games on the trot, which is, by anybody's standards, is disastrous.
Yeah, top level, yeah.
So that's where we're looking at the moment. And I did write down on here, and I put, well done, Harry Maguire, because I agree with you. He's someone that's been through... He's really had the thin end of the wedge, isn't he, for quite some time.
Yeah.
Even the manager didn't fancy him, and you got Ten Hag didn't fancy him, wanted to sell him, and he stuck around, and he stuck to his guns.
He lost the captaincy.
Lost the captaincy, and goes and scores the winner, which is not many players have done that at Anfield.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Should we hear from Am, or should we hear from Ruben?
Yeah, is he safe now? I was going to ask.
I mean, Eamonn's really the man more than me, but I think for the time being...
I don't think anybody's safe. There's a big compensation factor with him if they get rid of him before, I think it's the 20th of November. So they won't be doing that. He's safe until the 20th of November.
And anybody that gets a win like that, you buy yourself some time.
You have.
And it's almost a way. You know what I found was interesting with him is how serious he looked. Did you notice that? It was almost gritty. Is when the winner went in, it wasn't this jubilation and running up and down the touchline like some managers do. He was just like, and when the whistle went, shake hands, look very serious. So even in the press conference, although I'm sure he was
game face on.
Cock a hoop, I'm sure he was. This is what he had to say when he was asked about the game. Ruben Amorim.
I think we started really well. I think we had a great spirit during the game. I think we didn't play well with the ball, just certain moments. We create chances. We suffer some chances also. We lost a little bit the composure in the second half. We managed well when we suffered the goal. We managed that moment well, and that is a key point for our team. So I think it was a great win. Not a very well-played game from our part, but a great spirit, and that is the only thing I can ask.
I liken that to the golf when you're not a very good golfer and you hit an amazing shot and then you go, damn it. And it's almost, you know what I mean? It's one of those because it's going, we weren't that good. I thought Man United were really good yesterday.
That's a guy under pressure.
It is, and it's someone.
So where does that lift us to? What, 17th in the league now?
You're doing okay, yeah. I mean, honestly, relegation is at least 5 points away now, so you're fine. But anyway, it's Brighton next week, so it's a great win for Manchester United.
A different story for Spurs.
Do we have to talk about this? Can't we just revel in Manchester United's wonderfulness?
I know. Let's rip off the plaster. We'll say it quickly.
Okay, Spurs at home. 3 wins in 18 games at home. How about this? This is so weird. Spurs have the best away record in the Premier League and have the worst home record in the Premier League. It's bizarre, and it's almost like when teams come to play at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they'll sit back and think, OK, try and break us down, which is the opposite to what teams do when they're at home. So Spurs seem to play better through that, but when there's that block that they're playing against...
So, but have they changed their style of play since Postecoglou?
Oh, yeah. So it's not that gung-ho, let's just go forward and then let's just keep pressing. It's a lot... And also up front, and you've got Tell, and you've got players like Odegaard who are very young, and it just doesn't seem to be clicking perfectly well at the moment. The midfield is also, it's almost like they'll set up as if they're playing away. So they play better away than they can at home. But Aston Villa were very good for it. I mean, that's 5 on the trot now for them. So they were very good, and so those worries that Aston Villa had at the start of the season, I think, are out of the way now.
Just a quick one with golf. Tommy Fleetwood, and this is Tommy and his son Frankie.
I like this. Little Frankie Fleetwood. Isn't that a great name? Little Frankie Fleetwood. Look at there's his son. Now, there he is. See his son go running on there just as Tommy Fleetwood has won the DP World India Championships. And he said that he really wanted his son, who's only 8, to run on and congratulate him when he wins a tournament. Yeah. And it was his dream for that to happen. And then it was the same as Frankie, and little Frankie runs on. Isn't that sweet?
Very good,
That's
very good.
Great, and it shows all the money Tommy. You can make. It's all about the family.
Oh, that's nice.
Paul, thank you. We're going to take a break here, and we'll come back and we're going to talk about dogs. Apparently, some dogs are smarter than others. So,
yes. Is your dog a genius? So, Eamonn, what do you think? Is Maggie a genius?
My dog is very nice, but you know, she's very sweet, but I wouldn't say she's the smartest in the world.
She's not the brainiest.
She's 17.
Oh, bless her.
Amazing.
17 is incredible.
Yeah.
She's 2 years behind me. So we're going to be discussing
in dog years. Sorry.
Lisa and Chris Akabusi this morning. Hello, guys.
Morning, you
there
two.
You are, and they're going to be on next if we can get Dawn off that couch. Back after this.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
It's an unsettled picture across much of the Mediterranean over the next couple of days, with heavy showers around, particularly across northern parts of Spain and Portugal, southern parts of France, northern parts of Italy, perhaps even some snow over the Alps too. Southern parts of Italy, parts of Greece and northern parts of Turkey faring better in terms of some sunny spells, and temperatures quite widely in the high teens or low 20s for many, but with a bit more dry weather around as we head through the second half of the week. Those temperatures on the rise into the low, potentially mid-20s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain's Newsroom, weekday mornings from 9:30.
It's got this funny aspect, hasn't it? That calling Nelson queer is funny, but it isn't. In a way, it's not funny at all. It's just part of a very large project to not only pretend that trans people started the gay rights movement and that everybody has a gender identity. But I don't know if you know, the University of Leicester has got this wonderful organisation, the Research Centre for Museums and Galleries, which also links up with NEMO. This is a European-wide organisation, and they hold events about queering the museums. So the museums are being fed this bonkers nonsense, yes, by organisations that we're funding, and I think this has to stop. It really has to stop.
Bev, Michelle here. Sorry to cut in and take this back to basics, but some of my viewers might be sitting there and they're not down with the latest iterations of the alphabet soup, so they might not actually even know what is queer.
Well, it's a good question, isn't it? Queer used to be, and in my mind still is, an insult. A lot of gay men, especially older gay men, remember being called queer just before they were beaten up. So for them, and for many people, and including for me as well, queer is an insult. But lots of young gays and lesbians have adopted the word queer these days, but funnily enough, lots of straight people have too. So you'll find straight couples calling themselves queer because they think their sex is a bit edgy or something. It's completely debased the whole notion of what it was, of what gay rights was about, and people have forgotten what gay rights were about. So I don't use the word queer at all. I don't use the word LGBTQ+, because it's a jumble of different interests which actually conflict with each other. They don't belong together.
The People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers in the company of Dawn Newsom and Chris Sakabusi. Morning, you two.
Morning. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Fabulous. Thank you very much. Always good when I'm seeing you guys.
Yeah, good to see you.
Let's talk about the heist at the museum, the Louvre in Paris.
Yeah.
You see, Chris, I think inside job. I think they stole it to order. I just don't believe you can put a ladder up against the window and the window be open and whatever. Somebody's let them in.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. They know somebody inside. It's an inside job. When you say stole to order, then you're either suggesting that it is some massive oligarch, somebody with a load of money who says, I want that hidden in my parlour for me, yeah? Or, where I lean into, it is stolen to order, but by the underworld, criminal world, to sacrilege,
to break up,
break it up,
and
smash it up, sell the diamonds, the emeralds, etc., the gold, pure gold, and make a load of money. But the vandalism of that is unconscionable.
Have they given a price overall? What that's worth? What they've stolen?
It's priceless, isn't it?
It's priceless. it's intact, but in the raw material, it still must be worth a lot of money. Otherwise, it would have got to it. But what intrigues me is the whole audacity of it. That yes, meticulously planned. But I was speaking to Dawn earlier on. When I was in the home, we had a period of going to Woolies stealing. Please bear with me with yes, I'm soz. Yeah. We want to be workmen. So I had manufactured this coat where I could put my hand in my pocket like that, and I could get spanners and all that sort of stuff. There was another boy in the home who shall remain nameless. He walked straight into Woolies, the massive display of a dinghy. A dinghy. Yeah. He picked up the dinghy and walked out of Woolies' front door and got it to the children's home. Now, the audacity of nobody stopped him because it was so audacious. And so back to this, that's what this reminded me of, that somebody was so audacious that they went in the cherry picker, smashed the window, and within 7 minutes were gone with...
I just think you're right. I think if you do anything with confidence, whether it's going into Woolies and nicking a dinghy or breaking into the Louvre and nicking the crown jewels, if you do it with confidence, you get away with it.
Apparently they were wearing hard hats and high-vis jackets.
That's what I mean.
And I do think there's something to be said about a high-vis. If someone's wearing a high-vis, they look official. Yeah. And if they're opening up cabinets and things, you just think they're working.
They dropped some of these jewels.
It was just so French, wasn't it? It was just so French. On the getaway, they were on a scooter, one of them.
Yeah, on a scooter down the same. But exactly, but that shows you how high risk it was. That actually, they only had that 7 minutes or whatever. And in the end, you know, you're not going to go back to pick up the tiara when you've got, and I don't know how much worth of swag already with you.
Quite like that emerald one. If you wake up on Christmas morning, you've got that in your stocking, you'd be right, wouldn't you, Ellie? Quite like that. Gorgeous. The husband's watching.
Prince Andrew denies being in anyone's stockings, of course.
Oh, of course.
Boom, boom.
Great link.
Nice link.
So what about the latest on him?
Yeah, this is a story that carries on giving, doesn't it? I mean, evidently, one of the allegations that's come out is that he has got the Metropolitan Police involved now. When he was back in the day when this first started, he asked senior aides to get involved in a campaign to smear Virginia Giuffre, and that included his personal bodyguard, who was Metropolitan Police.
I was asking Ellie earlier as to why that is such a big problem. Why couldn't he ask a policeman to investigate?
Because it is asking, it's not what he's meant to be doing, and it's potentially a criminal offence depending on what he actually asked him to do. So now the Metropolitan Police are looking into this, and potentially Andrew could face criminal charges.
Yeah, I think with all of this, we have to bear in mind that it was a 17-year-old girl who is being maligned and compromised and violated, And while the Prince has said that it was untrue, I'm just mindful. I've had two daughters go through that age group. I've got one more coming through now, she's 14, and you realise how vulnerable they are at that age. And that's not...
We're going to be talking about this later in the form of the grooming gangs around this country, and I still go to the point, right is right and wrong is wrong, and it's obvious to a blind man on a galloping horse that any interference with children like that is wrong. Of course. And anybody who dodges it, avoids it, tries to dress it up as something else is wrong, and we'll continue to call them out here on GB News. Dawn, I was going through London yesterday and I was passing the Royal Albert Hall, and I said to people in the car, I said, I wonder what's on the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, no, what's on in the Royal Albert Hall?
It finished last night.
Yes.
This is sumo wrestling.
It was amazing, and it completely sold out. Fans filling 25,000 seats across all 5 days of it. And the venue has revealed that, obviously, it ran out of food, basically, in particular noodles, because these sumo wrestlers, they need between 7,000 and 10,000 calories a day to keep going. So this story is about how they had to contact suppliers for extra stockpiles of rice and noodles and things like that. But it's 600 professional wrestlers across 6 divisions in the capital for the first time in 34 years. And I know loads of people that were lucky enough to go, and they loved every minute of it.
You couldn't get tickets.
No,
There's
I know.
such demand for it.
I know, and it was, I mean, most people haven't got a clue what they're watching, but it was evidently such a brilliant spectacle, and the whole ritual of it all as well was just astonishing. It was amazing. We should have gone.
Chris, the Mail's running a story today. Now, I watched my favourite programme on telly is is called Educating Yorkshire, and it's on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock on Channel 4, right? And every week, my mouth just hangs open as to what is permitted in schools and how different schools are compared to my day, and the amazing job that teachers have to do, but completely different on than what you and I would remember at school. So, what's this story about?
So, the Daily Mail are going on a headline, woke guidance to tackle absenteeism, and stop asking pupils questions, it makes them anxious. Now,
of course it makes you anxious.
It's your job.
Yeah, so I mean, I get what they're going, and it's very easy to go with the popular view here. But I think they're not saying all pupils. They're asking to take into account that there may be, in certain sets of the classes, neurodivergent people, autistic, for whom it does make it. So I do work with children who've been in care, and sometimes I've got people in the room who are autistic, and because I'm energetic and stuff, I've got to be very careful how I approach them. So sometimes, if I'm asking a question, I won't even look.
But Chris, I don't think that you can break up. You can sit and say, well, we've got Dawn, better not ask her that. Chris, I can't ask her this. And whatever. You know, you can't keep differentiating and cutting things up like that. I think you have to relook at what teachers are expected to do.
I think if we're preparing children for the outside world, we have to be tougher with them than we are. Now, you can't wrap them up in cotton wool. The world does not revolve around them. They have to toughen up, sorry.
And you will be asked questions in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. So are you saying then exclude them from the classroom so that you can concentrate on the main body?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. I mean, okay. That might be a solution. Well, so you go back to having schools that cater for.
You see, when people say questions make you anxious. Yes, I was anxious.
Yeah. We all are. I was anxious. I was anxious when I went to the track, and I was a World Cup athlete. I was still anxious when you go to the final. Yeah, we get that. Anxiety is part of being human. But the question is whether somebody. Okay.
Well, I'm anxious. We'll
one at a time. Yeah.
We'll have Catherine here, and then we'll be back top of the hour. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, we have blustery, heavy showers across England and Wales today, with coastal gales in the south, but drier and brighter across Scotland. So we have low pressure dominating, bringing frequent showers across England and Wales. These are going to be heavy, containing the odd rumble of thunder and hail. Drier to the north of that into northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland with sunshine, but more persistent rain across the far north into Shetland. Otherwise, temperatures still around average for the time of year, but underneath all these heavy downpours and coastal gales in the south, probably feeling pretty unpleasant. So as we end Monday evening, we still hold on to this band of rain across Shetland. Otherwise, across much of Scotland, seeing some early evening sunshine. Likewise for Northern Ireland as well. Still a few showers around, but most of the showers still persisting across much of England and Wales. So they are still going to be heavy through this evening. So do take care during rush hour, as there could be some difficult driving conditions. The area of low pressure will shift its way eastwards though, so most of those showers will start easing away. We'll see some clear spells as we go Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then a focus for showers, more so coming into western areas. But under the clear skies, we may see temperatures fall, so chilly in some spots with a few mist and fog patches, but the winds generally easing as well. So as we start Tuesday morning, best of the sunshine really across eastern areas. Well, we'll hold on to the driest conditions for the longest, but otherwise through the day, further showers moving through, but they won't be as heavy or as frequent as what we'll see today. And the wind's not as strong, still breezy out there, but we lose those coastal gales. Otherwise, temperatures still around average, around 12 to 16 degrees. Bye-bye.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Motorists should anticipate diversions on the A9 southbound at Dalna due to planned maintenance. Drive cautiously. There's a 7.5-ton weight restriction on the M48 for heavy goods vehicles until further notice. In York, the A64 eastbound is closed between the A1036 and the A19 junction due to a severe multi-vehicle incident. In Manchester, expect 10-minute delays on the M56 eastbound due to an accident between junctions 7 and 6. And on the trains, Gatwick Express has no service, and Greater Anglia reports disruption between Broxbourne and London Liverpool Street. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
There's 2 weeks remaining in our latest, greatest giveaway. You could be in the driving seat of this Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxurious home from home comes with all the mod cons. Plus, you can use it with your current driving licence. We'll also boost your bank account with a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. It only takes one entry to become a winner. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
Oh, no, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Is Prince Andrew about to become the first royal for a generation to be investigated by the police?
Well, the Met look into claims the Prince asked a bodyguard to dig up dirt on Virginia Giuffre, who is about to publish a book tomorrow. Although she has passed away, her book will be released tomorrow.
Yes. Is there more to come, and is this just the tip of the iceberg?
Ahead of a London summit on tackling illegal migration, there are warnings that Russian spies could be working with people smugglers to flood Europe with migrants deliberately. Talking about that next.
The Louvre heist shocks the world as priceless jewellery is stolen in broad daylight. But will a manhunt uncover who is responsible?
The ceasefire in Gaza resumes after the killing of 2 Israeli soldiers and at least 36 Palestinians. Donald Trump repeated his support for peace on Air Force One.
It's going to be handled properly. It's going to be handled toughly but properly.
Is the ceasefire still in place?
Yeah, it is.
It's official. Driverless cars are coming to London next year. We're going to be debating if robot drivers are the future in about 20 minutes' time.
Now, if you thought Eamonn was particularly chirpy today...
Just a bit.
Just a little bit. Manchester United won away at Liverpool for the first time in a decade. It all makes sense. And Spurs lost at home to Aston Villa, which is the reason I'm so miserable today. Max Verstappen wins the US Grand Prix, making his 5th World Championship a possibility with 5 races to go. And in golf, Tommy Fleetwood wins in India. But the best part for him was his 8-year-old son, Frankie, running on to congratulate his dad. Oh.
Cute.
Well, after what was a rather dull and drab week just gone, there's plenty of weather in the forecast this week. I'll have all of the details coming up shortly.
It's a Tuesday morning, a very good morning to you. Good to have you on board, whether you're watching or listening. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
We're all talking about what these thieves stole at the Louvre.
The robbery in Paris.
Yesterday.
It is like something out of a film, isn't it?
You know what it's like?
What?
Top Carpy. Did you ever see Top Carpy?
No, I know what it is.
Not familiar.
I know what it is, but no, I didn't watch it, no.
Melina Mercouri.
The title put me off.
Maximilian Schell.
Yeah?
It's an old 60s movie where they steal, I think they do, this is one of these heists where they get lowered down on strings and then grab the jewels and take it away. Or the Pink Panther is one of those sort of things.
I thought it was very Pink Panther-esque.
It's very Pink Panther, isn't it?
Who else was lowered down strings? Was Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible?
He was lowered down on strings,
It's very Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I think they're probably wires more than strings, because I think the string, but you know, all that. Can you imagine? Who got the string? I wanted wire.
And I think Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas were
they lowered down on strings?
Yes, there's a movie they'd made together. It was about thievery. Like
what,
that.
both at the same time?
No.
On the same strings?
Yes, I think she had broken in and... I don't know. Anyway, it's probably there.
OK, and Thunderbirds, but that's a different thing altogether with strings.
That is a whole thing.
Have a look at Top Carpy. See if you can see Top Carpy. You would love Top Carpy.
Do you know the new Thunderbirds have released? Thunderbirds are 60 years old.
Yeah.
You don't see strings anywhere now. They've all been AI'd
The
out.
strings were banned in Thunderbirds, though, like the worst.
Have they take them out?
Yeah.
But that's kind of like...
Edit them out.
I can't believe that.
Part of the appeal, you think?
I think it is, don't you?
Yeah. I tell you, I'm really in a dilemma for Christmas because they've released a whole set of Thunderbird toys. You know, Thunderbird 2 and Thunderbird
you want the lot.
Eamonn, that doesn't put you in a dilemma. That puts me and Ellie in a dilemma.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was very...
Because you don't buy presents for yourself.
That was a very heavy hint there.
It was the most ridiculously unsubtle Christmas hint I've ever heard.
We know what we're getting
such a dilemma. The whole of the
dilemma.
Thunderbird toys are out, and I just need someone to buy them for me.
But why do
I... Up the wrong
And I
tree.
need diamonds.
Why do I, at my age, 42, want to buy toys? Why do I want to buy toys?
Well, at 36,
'Cause you're
I'm
a
exactly
man.
the same problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a man. This is why. And you never grow up.
But
That's true.
You never
It is
grow up.
true.
You're like Peter Pan.
You want to please men and say, what will I get him for Christmas? Toys.
Toy cars.
See, the thing is, Ellie, what happens is that when you're a kid and there's certain presents or certain toys that you always wanted but you could never afford or you never got.
Chopper bike.
When you get older and then you can afford them, it doesn't matter because you still want one. Although I'm never going to ride around on a chopper bike, but I desperately want one.
Or
of
I'm
those.
never going to wear a Captain Scarlet outfit.
But it doesn't stop you
I
from
would
wanting
love
one.
to see that.
Okay.
Anyway, we know what we're getting
Mr.
you for
Paul,
Christmas.
see you in 15 minutes' time. Thank you
Thanks,
very much
Boycie.
indeed.
I'll work on
Top
my
story
Christmas
this
list.
morning is about Prince Andrew, and he faces a potential police investigation as they look into claims he pressurised a bodyguard to dig up personal information on the late Virginia Giuffre.
Well, that's as pressure mounts on Sir Keir Starmer to change the law in order to strip Andrew of his dukedom.
One day before Virginia Giuffre's book is set to be released. But what could it reveal? That is the question. Royal broadcaster Helena Chard joins us now. Helena, good morning. Very good to see you. Helen.
Good morning.
Helena,
good morning.
what do you think this has in store, this book? Any other surprises? And if it is something, was it enough to make him step away from his existing positions?
I mean, goodness me. I mean, the ramifications of this Andrew debacle are continuous. I mean, completely snowballing. I mean, we keep hearing it's the tip of the iceberg and more things are just rolling out. I mean, Prince Andrew has already been stripped of titles, honours, and more importantly, I guess, to him is his status. Fresh allegations every single day. He's facing scrutiny. We now hear, obviously, the Met Police are looking into these claims that he tried to dig up private information about Virginia Giuffre. He claims, obviously, Prince Andrew committed sexual assault on him. So, I mean, more and more things are coming out. I mean, for the palace, this is a nightmare as well. The courtiers are obviously, everyone's worried, as it's alleged that, that Prince Andrew sent an email to courtiers saying what he was doing, the fact he was trying to do it through the Metropolitan Police. I mean, there are so many legs here and so many things to look into. Is this true? You know, we have to also be mindful that we have to work with fact here. Prince Andrew is vigorously denying the accusations against him. He's been stripped of things. I mean, at the moment, the black cloud, I think, over the monarchy, this is a real reputational threat and actually a risk to the monarchy. Long shadow over their good work. You know, how much did the palace know? We don't know. Should there be more of a decisive action some time ago? I just don't know. All I do know is that obviously it exacted huge damage to the monarchy, and this is set to continue. I do feel at the moment things obviously have been looked into. The general public are forming their own thoughts on everything, which is obviously a very negative view of Prince Andrew. This is set to roll on and on. The optics, I believe, of Andrew still being in Windsor are not good. I do not feel that the royal family are going to be able to escape this. More emails are probably going to be leaked. We're going to hear more from the book. Also to remember, there are a lot of these books that are out on the market. I think we're saturated with various books. How much fact are in these books? We don't know. So it's step by step and just seeing what's going to happen. But the fact that the Metropolitan Police are looking into this, Helena, I don't know.
Well, Helena, thank you for what you do know and what you've discussed with us there today. We've got to say goodbye to you. Thank you very much indeed. Apologies for Helena's sound quality there on that interview with her.
Well, of course, Prince Andrew has previously and continues to deny any wrongdoing, and the Metropolitan Police are currently looking into the claims.
Now, here's a story and a half. Ahead of European leaders arriving in London for a summit on illegal migration, that's going to happen on Wednesday, a minister from Bulgaria issued a warning, and this is against Russia.
Yeah, there's reports that Russian spying networks could be giving migrants advice on how to avoid deportation from Britain and other European nations. They could even be funding people smuggling gangs.
Well, we've got Oscar Redrop in the studio, former governmental advisor to the Conservatives. Oscar, why would the Russians be doing this? What's in it for them?
Well, Russia are highly skilled at destabilising Western nations, and particularly since the war in 2022. And this makes total sense. I am not surprised by this whatsoever. They do it in terms of intelligence gathering. They do it in terms of online disinformation. And, you know, one of the most destabilising, as we know, as we discuss, as all politicians know, all frontline politicians know in this country, you know, illegal immigration is hugely destabilising to this country, to our communities, policy, every aspect of life. So I totally believe this. And you know, the fact that they partner up with kind of very hard left groups in terms of providing that information. And it's not just information in terms of how to get here, it's then information in terms of how to game the asylum system so that you stay here, which again is hugely contentious in our politics at the moment. And I have sympathy and empathy with the government, and obviously the government that I was part of, in terms of this really does show how complex a challenge tackling illegal immigration is. But I have to say that if it is a continuation, and if the government go, well, doesn't this just mean that we have to look at tackling these organisations and moving upstream more and kind of attacking it at the source, and yet not doing the stuff that we do ultimately have more control of as an autonomous nation, like the ECHR, like real-world deterrence, then it ain't going to solve the problem. And that just adds to this.
Well, this is it. How do we solve the problem? We've been talking about smashing the gangs, but this is a whole other level. This is smash the international spy network.
Yeah, I mean, that is what Bulgaria said today. And it'll be interesting on this conference on Wednesday, where they're looking to do similar return schemes like the one they have with France, with nations, with other Balkan nation states, and Bulgaria, of course, specifically as well. But you're absolutely right. Smashing the gangs is fine. I think people are absolutely sick to the back teeth of it as a completely hollow catchphrase, but it can only be an element and a part. And yes, you know, if Russia are at play here, if hard left organisations are at play in terms of teaching people how to game the system, fine. But ultimately, that smashing the gangs and forensically looking at that is only an element to this. It is only an element.
Explain to me just how they can actually generate some following for this, how actually they can increase the numbers. What are they doing to make people say, oh, that Great Britain thing, we'll have a go there?
Well, if they facilitate, if they educate people on how to...
buying dinghies, for instance?
I honestly, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. And I you know, Keir Starmer, I remember, in quite a cringe, embarrassing way, celebrated the fact that they captured a dinghy seller, and I think they put some tape around one dinghy that they happened to catch, which is, you know, by the by, and slightly embarrassing. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's at that level. But the really key thing is that these hard left groups, and potentially, as we're hearing today, Russia, if they are providing advice, ultimately, even if it's a one-step removed way, in how to game the system once they're here, that for me is the key point, because that's what we see time and time again, and that's why the government can't hide behind this and go, oh, well, it's all a big conspiracy in Russia and disinformation. If we don't have a real-world deterrent, and I know Rwanda wasn't perfect, I think we all know that at this point, but if we don't have a real-world deterrent, then even Russia and the collusion and these groups, once they get here, if we don't know how to then get rid of them, then that's how it takes hold.
Talk us through those figures the government are boasting about.
Yes, the Home Office revealed that 16 migrants were deported last week.
This is embarrassing.
This is the largest flight group yet under the one-in, one-out agreement with Paris. So it's something like 36,734 people in, 42 in total out under this scheme.
It's hugely embarrassing, and if they on Wednesday strike similar deals with other nations and they celebrate that as some huge success because, you know, we get, you know, single-digit returns for hundreds and hundreds and thousands that come in. It's really interesting. I was talking to someone the other day, and this is very embarrassing to me on TV because I can't quite remember the exact figure, but I was talking to someone who is very left-wing, very pro, I would say borderline open borders, that kind of left-wing, like vote Green, would probably vote your party. And I can't remember the number, but I told them the number of people who've come here illegally in the last year, and they were shocked.
It's over 50,000, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they quite realise, you know, and it's year upon year. And I think that the return schemes that we're seeing, you know, when you put 50,000 just this year, you know, in literally like double digits, I think, you know, like, you know, couple here this week, couple here that week, it's almost better politically if they hadn't agreed this return scheme, because all you will see in the headlines is you remind people of just that huge gap. It's embarrassing having to publicise that we've returned, you know, 3 or 4 people one week when we see hundreds coming in that same week. It's embarrassing.
Totally agree. Just it doesn't look well at all. Oscar, thanks for your take on things. Appreciate it. Thank you. The weather last night, I think it was a lot of rain.
Chucking it down, and it's going to chuck it down all week. It's miserable. But Catherine Short's got all the details for you.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, we have blustery, heavy showers across England and Wales today, with coastal gales in the south, but drier and brighter across Scotland. So we have low pressure dominating, bringing frequent showers across England and Wales. These are going to be heavy, containing the odd rumble of thunder and hail. Drier to the north of that into northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland with sunshine, but more persistent rain across the far north into Shetland. Otherwise, temperatures still around average for the time of year, but underneath all these heavy downpours and coastal gales in the south, probably feeling pretty unpleasant. So as we end Monday evening, we still hold on to this band of rain across Shetland. Otherwise, across much of Scotland, seeing some early evening sunshine. Likewise for Northern Ireland as well. Still a few showers around, but most of the showers still persisting across much of England and Wales. So they are still going to be heavy through this evening. So do take care during rush hour, as there could be some difficult driving conditions. The area of low pressure will shift its way eastwards though, so most of those showers will start easing away. We'll see some clear spells as we go Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then a focus for showers, more so coming into western areas. But under the clear skies, we may see temperatures fall, so chilly in some spots with a few mist and fog patches, but the winds generally easing as well. So as we start Tuesday morning, best of the sunshine really across eastern areas. Well, we'll hold on to the driest conditions for the longest, but otherwise through the day, further showers moving through, but they won't be as heavy or as frequent as what we'll see today. And the wind's not as strong, still breezy out there, but we lose those coastal gales. Otherwise, temperatures still around average, around 12 to 16 degrees. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Well, the weather may be rubbish, but our Great British Giveaway is certainly not.
No, and time is ticking on your chance to win the biggest prize of the year in our Great British Giveaway. Just 2 weeks left.
Yeah,
Did you
2
know?
weeks. So get that entry in, and you could drive away with this.
There's 2 weeks remaining in our latest, greatest giveaway, and a prize worth over £104,000 really could be yours. You could be in the driving seat at this Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxurious home from home comes with all the mod cons, comfortably sleeps your family of 4, and comes fully kitted out with bicycle rack and side awning. Plus, you can use it with your current driving licence. We'll also boost your bank account with a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. It only takes one entry to become a winner, and that winner really could be you. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690, Derby, DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
After the death of 2 Israeli soldiers and reactionary strikes in Gaza, question is the ceasefire now in trouble? Talking about that next.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
Because the failure is...
You're
the failure is...
deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, this Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers
have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back. Now let's look to the Middle East now. And Israel says it has resumed enforcement of its ceasefire after it carried out a wave of airstrikes on Gaza.
Israeli Defence Forces have confirmed 2 Israeli soldiers were killed. Both sides are accusing each other of violations.
Well, Foreign Affairs expert Bob Seeley joins us now. Good morning to you, Bob.
Good morning.
Good morning. There's been violations now on both sides. So what hope do you think there is that this ceasefire is going to hold?
Look, I mean, I really hope the ceasefire does hold, but the reality is that Hamas is a terrorist organisation that's not going to give up control of the Gaza Strip. And one of the fundamental problems of this peace deal is that as part of the deal, which everyone has signed up to, Hamas is effectively going to have to dissolve itself out of business. And I really can't see that happening without a struggle. And you're seeing that struggle playing out in Gaza.
What was the problem? Why did we get this break in the ceasefire? What actually started all that?
Oh, the provocation was, according to the Israelis, the provocation was that the Hamas killed 2 Israeli soldiers who were in a place where they were perfectly entitled to plea under the agreement. And as a result, the Israelis have struck back.
Yeah. Do you know where
if you read what's happening, if you read the social media with the sort of pro-Hamas mob, clearly everything is always Israel's fault, no matter what Hamas does. But the reality
where I have some sympathy for them, Bob, though, is this idea of returning bodies, and you can actually see the situation. They're not going to know where all these bodies are. They aren't neatly lined up in a warehouse somewhere. They could be below rubble. You know, goodness knows what has happened to some of these poor people. Is it realistic to ask for all these bodies back again?
I think it's realistic to ask for honesty from your opposing side if this ceasefire is going to be meaningful and going to be lasting. And if Hamas have an idea of where the bodies are, and Hamas do a great deal for propaganda and publicity. So when they've got some big tractor digging a big hole saying, "Oh, we're looking," you know, it may be true. It may be equally that they know where the body is, but they're just playing up for the gallery. And I'm afraid to say that Hamas do an awful lot of that, and a number of left-wing media organisations have been caught out, frankly, singing Hamas's tune in a really ugly and unattractive way. This ceasefire is going to struggle, in my opinion, and it's going to struggle because Hamas doesn't want to dissolve itself, and Hamas wants to survive, and Hamas wants to get back into power and keep killing Jews and getting ready for another round of warfare. And that is the fundamental problem here, that Hamas has to dissolve itself, and I think they are unwilling to do so, and you're going to have more murders and more paramilitary struggles within the Gaza Strip as a result.
And they don't want to disarm, do they, which is a central part of this agreement. So who is going to disarm them? Will it be groups inside Gaza, or is Israel going to have to go in again?
Or Trump?
Or Trump?
Well, this is one of the problems. You're going to have this multinational talk of this multinational force, but peacekeeping forces tend to be really unwilling to put their soldiers' lives on the line in order to police this deal. So you're absolutely right. In worst case scenarios, you're going to get an ineffectual force in, and Hamas will keep building the tunnels again and keep arming itself again, and maybe spend the next 2 or 3 years just solidifying power in Gaza again and killing off any rivals and just building itself up again from scratch. So maybe in 5 or 10 years' time, we're going to have the same problem that we're facing now, that as long as Hamas exists, they're going to drive the Gaza Strip into the ground, and it is going to become inhabitable because they will just treat it as a permanent war zone, regardless of any moral and humanitarian responsibilities that they have to their own people.
Bob Seeley, really good to get your analysis on that this morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Breakfast.
Coming up, driverless cars. Would you get into one?
No.
Well, you maybe have to, because they're coming to London next year. We are debating that one next. Robot taxis, OK? After this.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. In Cuthill, the A9 is currently blocked due to a road incident, which is causing significant delays for motorists. Additionally, the M4 eastbound between Tredegar Park and Malpas remains heavily congested, while the M25 clockwise in Greater London is experiencing significant delays due to a collision. Meanwhile, on the M56 eastbound, lane closures are in effect between junctions 7 and 6, affecting travel time. On the rail front, there's no Gatwick Express service running today, and disruptions continue on Greater Anglia services between Broxbourne and Stratford. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racist tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised. I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up? About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in a chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Last week on the programme, we were talking about a taxi in San Francisco. Somebody, who was it?
We were talking about robot driverless, pilotless planes. There you go, pilotless planes.
Did Ben Leo or someone or Beverly Turner get into a taxi? I think it was one or other.
Oh, they did, I think, yeah.
And they were putting it on their Instagram. And anyway, but now they're coming to London next year, right? So driverless car journeys could just be around the corner or into the corner or up the curb or somewhere. Would you do it? Would you get into a car driven remotely?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
But we're going to be debating this now.
You're going to have airplanes, as we were saying there.
And I don't like the sound of that either.
Well.
Like a human behind the wheel, please. But is it the future? This is the question we're asking this morning. Let's talk to cyber and technology policy expert Melanie Garson and author of Driverless Cars on a Road to Nowhere, Christian Wolmar. Very good morning to you. Christian, let's start with you. Do you think driverless cars are the future?
Absolutely not. I've been writing about them for the past 10 years, and the progress that they've made is painstakingly slow. Yes, there's some robo-taxis operating in San Francisco and a few other cities in America, but we're nowhere near being able to have these cars on London's roads. I mean, Eamonn, you don't have to worry about it. They're not coming here straight away. And Ellie, you won't be forced to get in one because the technology is nowhere near ready to be able to pilot these vehicles around London automatically. The cars that they're announcing are coming next year, and I don't think they'll meet this deadline, will all actually have an operator in them. They're not going to be driverless. There's actually, at the moment, the legislation would not allow a driverless car unless it had passed a wide variety of tests. So they're not coming soon. It's all a big hype, and I don't think you have to worry about it.
Melanie, if we do have to worry about it, Bridget, my producer, was talking to me before we came on air about this, and she said, oh, but the great thing is going to be fares are going to be so much lower. And I'm thinking, no, they're not. That'd be my view. The companies will make bigger profit, I would think, but I don't think they're going to hand to the rest of us. You're going to get this cheaper. What do you think?
Well, actually, currently, you would be right at the moment, because what is coming out of the analysis of the fares, however much we might like them, is as they stand, certainly over in San Francisco and the cities they've been using in America, the fares are not yet cheaper than using Uber or Bolt or the equivalent in those contexts. And there is a point to be made that the standards that will be high, the insurance and the various levels, if they were to roll out, would be so high that passing on that, the cost saving or the cost of that insurance would probably then be passed on. So at the outset, it probably would not be that much cheaper to use them.
Christian, in terms of this working in London, I mean, we've seen it in Los Angeles, haven't we? We're seeing it in San Francisco, more of a grid system city. I mean, how would this work in London, which is like a series of villages kind of put together into this mesh? You can imagine it would be quite difficult for a robot or a driverless car to get around.
Absolutely, and that's one of the points. And there's other points too. I mean, in my book, I cite something called the Holborn problem, and that's the idea that at 6 o'clock in the evening in Holborn, there's so many people on the streets pouring into them that a driverless car would never be able to get through, because if you stand in front of a driverless car, it has to stop, right? Because otherwise it might hurt or kill somebody. And so adding these things to London's traffic, as it is at the moment, would cause chaos. People will hate being behind them because they drive very conservatively. Already that's the case in America, where people get cross at the fact that they kind of stop all the time, sometimes unexpectedly. And the bigger question is, nobody really wants it. I thought your reaction, Eddie, was dead right. I mean, why do you want them? I mean, okay, we sometimes get bored talking to taxi drivers about their holiday plans, but hey, at least they're there, and they're there to take your luggage if you've got it. They're there to open the boot. They're there Christian, to kind of
it's about making money. It's firms wanting to make money. That's the primary impetus with it all.
Except there's no business case for these things, because the point about why they're more expensive in San Francisco and the like is because there's so much equipment on them. These things cost hundreds of thousands of dollars each, and so replacing a driver who maybe earned £30,000 or £40,000 a year with this vastly expensive equipment just not worthwhile.
Well, Melanie, why do you want them? What do you see as the huge advantage? I mean, would you be licking your lips looking forward to stepping into one?
I've actually been in one, and I've been in not a Waymo, a Wavy one that is the UK equivalent that they've been training. They have their training facility out by near Camden, just behind King's Cross Way. And I went a couple of years ago when it was even earlier along the night on one of their training rides. And it was very interesting. It's at that point, there was still an operator behind it, but an operator sitting like this so that it's not interfering, and watching how they do the training of the intention. My point is, I don't think that there is a joy of driving, and I do think there's actually a huge psychological benefit with getting into taxis and talking to taxi drivers about their holidays. And I learned huge amounts about taxi drivers. From taxi drivers. I wouldn't want taxi drivers to disappear. But I think in certain close environments where we're seeing increased pedestrianisation, we're seeing a pullback of cars anyway. I don't think we're going to see them out in the middle of the roads in the countryside. I think, but driving in London today is painful. And you can't drive at any speed. Getting in a car and driving at under 20 miles an hour is absolutely horrifically painful. You're spending every second looking at your speedometer rather than actually looking at the road. That I think in certain close areas, there may be a level of using them in and out quite quickly. And so I don't think you've got to look, where is the use case? I think Christian's right. It's not, the business case is not assured. They are expensive. They have been, from a cyber perspective, even last week. They said...
So what are you telling me? Christian says there's no sign of them coming, there's no demand for them, whatever. And have you just agreed with that, or are you looking forward to...
I think there will be a demand in limited areas. I think you'll see it roll out in very small. I don't think we'll see them operating on mass distances across London, but I think you'll see them in small areas, and they're kind of fun.
Okay.
But they were originally presented as changing the world we live in, and that we'd all be in them within a few years, that they would be safer, that they would be able to kind of take you to work and then take your kids to school and take your grandparents to hospital and all this stuff. None of this is remotely near happening, and yet there's all this hype. I mean, Waymo's press release said, "Oh, driverless cars are coming to London, just what you've been waiting for." Well, I don't think Londoners have been waiting for it.
Well, we'll keep you waiting there. Thank you very much indeed, Christian. Thank you, Melanie. Very good talking to both of you. Appreciate it. Have your say.
Yes.
The guys have had their say. You have your say. Get in touch with us this morning. Register your thoughts, and we will reflect those.
Yeah, would you get in a driverless car? Let us know. Still to come, pub culture is in decline. Guess what's replacing it? Dawn and Chris are going to be here telling us all about that next. But first, if you're in search of some holiday sun, here's the forecast across Europe.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
It's an unsettled picture across much of the Mediterranean over the next couple of days, with heavy showers around, particularly across northern parts of Spain and Portugal, southern parts of France, northern parts of Italy, perhaps even some snow over the Alps too. Southern parts of Italy, parts of Greece and northern parts of Turkey faring better in terms of some sunny spells, and temperatures quite widely in the high teens or low 20s for many, but with a bit more dry weather around as we head through the second half of the week. Those temperatures on the rise into the low, potentially mid-20s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Britain's Newsroom. Weekday mornings from 9:30.
She's got a huge platform, so it really is wonderful that she's raised this issue.
Sandy, do you have any tips for parents who want to, keep screens out of the home? I find myself, as a parent, I'll be sort of Googling whether my son's development is right or whatever, or, Googling something about my son, and then I'll see that he's trying to play with me and I've been distracted by my phone. But I sort of have the best intentions, but I'm sure that's what everyone says. Do you have any tips for how to make phones and family more compatible?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly for very young children, they don't really have a good concept of time. So to say to them, you know, you can have the device for 20 minutes means nothing. So what I recommend to families that I work with is that they have screen-free places in the home where no one has a screen, and there are particularly important ones. So meal times, which the Princess of Wales raised yesterday, that's hugely important. It's a great time for the family to get together and talk. And also children being on screens during meal times has been shown to contribute to childhood obesity, because children don't register when they're full and they don't stop eating because they're distracted. The other really good place to avoid screens for everyone is the bedroom, particularly the children's bedroom, because it affects the quality of their sleep, how long they sleep. And first thing in the morning is particularly bad. It's been shown that children who watch screens in the morning have worse behaviour, attention and concentration throughout the day. And they're far more likely to have a speech and language problem.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised. I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Joining us now to talk about stories making the news in the newspapers, for instance, Dawn Neeson and Chris Akabusi.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Dawn. Let's have a look at the Times front page this morning. Caught my eye. The Russian spies and hard-left humanitarian groups are working with people smugglers to flood Europe with migrants.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new spin on a story. Excuse me, it's been around for a long time now. The fact that bad faith actors are helping to bring down the West by smuggling migrants in, as many migrants as they can. Yeah, this one is the latest one, and this is coming from the Interior Minister in Bulgaria, who is saying his government has evidence that Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service has direct links to the criminal gangs and moving illegal migrants through Europe, heading to the UK, basically.
And the idea is just to mess us up and everybody else up, just to create chaos.
Yes, to bring our democracy down, basically, to
destabilise us. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems to be working.
Right. Chris?
Well, it's only working because we have deteriorated so much with all of our systems and protocols that actually deter people from coming across. So if we had more robust systems in place, then we would be able to knock back some of the people that are coming that we don't want here. So yes, I see what they're saying, how Russia's taking advantage of our own inadequacies.
I think it changes things for government as well, doesn't it? Because we've been talking about smashing the gangs.
Oh,
this is a whole other level, isn't it? I mean, this is smashing spy networks.
Well, it's exactly that. I mean, we've spent the last, 2 weeks now talking about the Chinese spying problem. There is obviously a huge problem with Russia trying to destabilise the West in general. And this story quotes Yvette Cooper, who is now the Foreign Secretary, this week, saying it's clear that illegal migration into Europe and beyond is being driven by not just organised crime, but gangs to make a problem, but also hostile state actors. Well, yeah, OK, it is, love. Do something about it. I mean, one in, one out, how's that going?
What are we doing about pubs closing down, Chris? Apparently, according to the Mail, Netflix and cafes are contributing to pubs having to close the doors.
Yeah, when I was reading this, I was just thinking that when I was a young man, 16, 17, it was aspirational to go to the pub because all the older men in the working class background went to the pub, came home, told stories about their time together. So it was something that you aspired to, and that was probably the zenith and the highlight of pub culture. What this is really saying is that culture has changed and deteriorated to such an effect that pubs are in a massive decline. And clearly, you know, if you can go to a supermarket and buy a 24-pack of beer for the price of 2 pints for you and your mate in a bit, you're going to be more akin to doing that. And okay, there's been often coffee shops close to where I live. There's a great. It was a florist. Still is a florist. But what they have now is that they've got this coffee shop in front of the florist and the cinema at the back. So actually, you can go and get your coffee and then go and watch a private cinema, and people are going there. So people are going and having their relationships there rather than to the pub. So it is under attack. Yeah. The way of life is under attack.
Yeah. I think you talk about the way of life. I think sociability is under attack. I think people mixing, rubbing shoulders with other people, getting to say, oh, I bumped into the window cleaner in the pub last night or whatever. I just think we are less and less mixing.
Yeah, I mean, pubs are not just about alcohol. I've been the barmaid in several pubs in East London, and it's the best job I ever had. Should have carried on doing it, to be honest with you. But the people that used to come into those pubs, there were many of them were older, lonely people, and they would sit there and would literally nurse half a pale ale or something or other all day and just sit and chat. It was warm, they had company. It was more than alcohol. It's about that social connection. These people were incredibly lonely. We're losing that now.
And butchers, bakers, candlestick makers. I mean, you know, I remember, hello, John, how are you doing? What do you do, John? I'm a school teacher.
That's it.
I think that's interesting.
So you'd have a variety of people. You'd have a doctor in there and a school teacher, and you'd have a blue-collar worker, a van driver, all in the same place.
And coffee shops aren't supplying that need. I mean, our local pub in the East London again has closed down. We've got a coffee shop in its place, but it's full of yummy mummies. It's not full of the lonely older people.
I don't drink coffee, Dawn, but...
why?
Apparently...
I drink enough for both of you combined.
Do you pay £5 or £6 for a cup of coffee?
It's about £4 for a going rate of coffee, It's a joke.
Mad, isn't it?
But the thing is, when you're going to a cafe, it's people with headphones, people with laptops in their own little world. And then the Mail's also picked up on this idea that people would rather be at home watching Netflix. Yeah. People just want to be by themselves.
Unsociable.
Unsociable. Yeah, we've lost that sociability.
Sad. I really do think it's sad.
But again, as I'm trying to say, it's a sign of the culture, where the way we've shifted. We've gone from that social, walling it together sort of community to isolated.
Well, it's interesting, and this is definitely a geographical thing. Being from Belfast, we talk to everybody and anybody, and then when you come to London, you say hello to people, and they jump.
You're weird.
You're a weirdo.
And that's good. I think if you live in Leeds, you're sociable. I think if you're in Manchester, you're sociable. I think you're in Glasgow, you're sociable. Newcastle, whatever. But
it's
further
stark.
south you come, it's...
I think there's a little bit of a cliche going on there, and I think it depends on what part of London you're talking to. I mean, when the part of London, I keep saying East London, but it was. When I grew up, and it's still there to a certain extent, people were friendly. People would talk to you. I mean, I would walk down our high street and I would say hello to people in the post office, in the corner shop, you know, even in the coffee shop. I will say hello and I will chat to my neighbours. So I think there is still some of it left. It hasn't died out yet.
See, I was quite shocked. I live in London now, but I was up visiting my granny in Leeds. The window cleaner called round and she offered him a cup of tea. I was like, oh, is this what we do? Okay. And then he said yes, and I was like, oh. And then he stood on the doorstep having a chat with her, having a cup of tea.
But you wouldn't do that, Ellie?
I wouldn't do that, no. But I wouldn't think he'd want to do that.
Oh,
I wouldn't want to bother him.
No, I wouldn't do it.
I'm always doing that. No, I'm always making cups of tea. The husband hates it.
Maybe that's a northern
If we have anyone, you know, a builder or whatever, he goes, don't make him a cup of tea.
No. You know, if the guy comes in and works in your house, of course you offer them. Yeah. But the idea that the window cleaner who comes out from the outside, you go, want a cup of chai, mate?
I do that.
Yeah, and then stood on the door.
They need a couple more than anyone else.
But they stood on the doorstep and had a chat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I thought we would have been too busy for that.
I thought he was going to be doing the work because I'm paying you to somebody else.
Sometimes I just don't have time to do anything because I'm talking to the postman and the window cleaner and whatever, and they all want to talk about the one thing, which is football. All day. Let's talk about fish, right?
Yes.
So if you go to Sainsbury's, they value their fish very highly, Dawn.
Well, Well, yeah, I mean, it's a sign of the times. I mean, this is pretty much all the stories we're talking about today, sign of the times. But fish has become the latest product to be protected by those, you know, the yellow security tags that if you try and get them out the front door, they're set an alarm off. And they've been actually, these are, you know, simple, like battered cod fillets down to £6 are tagged because people are nicking stuff so much.
Okay.
I mean, we do have an epidemic of shoplifting. 2.2 billion worth of stuff nicked in shoplifting.
I want to talk here about dogs. Dog owners in Britain are saying, are being asked to check if their dogs are genius, and this is because they recognise certain words. I've seen this. They practically talk to you. You know, you mention a word, they know what you're talking about. You going out? Do you want chicken? Do you want
your chicken? Yeah, that's
chicken
right.
works all the time. You know.
This is so interesting because I was out on Saturday with there's Maggie on the screen. Very cute.
Okay.
She understands chicken.
She understands chicken. But I was out with somebody on Saturday and they were talking about their dog Spud, and Spud almost talks back. So if you say, Spud, do you want to go outside to the garden? He goes, I like he's saying, I do.
Yes.
I'm convinced that's what he's saying.
There's a great meme out on the social media where there's this dog that's asleep and he goes, watch this. If I say C-H-I-C-K-E-N, she'll wake up.
Yes.
So he talks about all the time. Chicken. That dog is out there. He's
all the time. They're like an Alexa. They're always listening, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And this is really good story, actually. It's a genius dog challenge, and dog owners in the UK are being urged to check if their pets show signs of genius. And the way you do this is how many toys your dog recognises by name. And if you have a puppy, you can train them to do that. It's repeat, like you say, glass of water, glass of water, glass of water, all the time, and then they will recognise that phrase. And if you have a load of toys, and there's one dog here that can, it's a Border Collie, many of these are Border Collies, very intelligent dog, knows the names of 220 toys. So if you pile all the toys up and you say, go and get the squeaky bone, it will know out of all the toys to get the squeaky bone.
So that's a genius dog.
Border Collies are clever, though, aren't they?
They are very clever. The 3 dogs mentioned in this who have that vocabulary of recognising the toys are all Border Collies.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're the smartest dogs.
But the problem is, I mean, look, same with the Labradors with their noses and stuff. You think that your dog is it, but actually, when I took my dog down to the military, it didn't have it.
OK, folks, look forward to seeing you again in 40 minutes' time or so. We now look forward to seeing Catherine Chalk. She's got your weather update, which isn't very good.
No, I'm not looking forward to that.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, we have blustery, heavy showers across England and Wales today, with coastal gales in the south, but drier and brighter across Scotland. So we have low pressure dominating, bringing frequent showers across England and Wales. These are going to be heavy, containing the odd rumble of thunder and hail. Drier to the north of that into northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland with sunshine, but more persistent rain across the far north into Shetland. Otherwise, temperatures still around average for the time of year, but underneath all these heavy downpours and coastal gales in the south, probably feeling pretty unpleasant. So as we end Monday evening, we still hold on to this band of rain across Shetland. Otherwise, across much of Scotland, seeing some early evening sunshine. Likewise for Northern Ireland as well. Still a few showers around, but most of the showers still persisting across much of England and Wales. So they are still going to be heavy through this evening. So do take care during rush hour, as there could be some difficult driving conditions. The area of low pressure will shift its way eastwards though, so most of those showers will start easing away. We'll see some clear spells as we go Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then a focus for showers, more so coming into western areas. But under the clear skies, we may see temperatures fall, so chilly in some spots with a few mist and fog patches, but the winds generally easing as well. So as we start Tuesday morning, best of the sunshine really across eastern areas. Well, we'll hold on to the driest conditions for the longest, but otherwise through the day, further showers moving through, but they won't be as heavy or as frequent as what we'll see today. And the wind's not as strong, still breezy out there, but we lose those coastal gales. Otherwise, temperatures still around average, around 12 to 16 degrees. Bye-bye.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Vocational sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. A road incident has blocked the M8 eastbound at Junction 5, causing delays. The A64 eastbound near York is closed from the A1 237 York South to the A19 junction. In Greater London, a collision on the M25 clockwise between junctions 27 and 28 has resulted in the closure of 3 lanes, with hour-long delays. Hampshire's M27 westbound between junctions 4 and 3 also has lane closures, and on the trains Gatwick Express has no service, and Greater Anglia faces disruptions between Broxbourne and Stratford in London. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
There's 2 weeks remaining in our latest, greatest giveaway. You could be in the driving seat of this Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxurious home from home comes with all the mod cons. Plus, you can use it with your current driving licence. We'll also boost your bank account with a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. It only takes 1 entry to become a winner. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. 1 entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
I think for far too long in this country, millions of people felt as though they weren't represented at all by the establishment media.
GB News was needed because there literally was no other voice. Everyone was saying the same thing.
GB News exists because there is a desperate need for fearless journalism that puts the people first.
GB News came on the scene as a disruptor, and it has always been a disruptor ever since.
The mainstream is all about keeping the status quo as it is, ticking along quite nicely. They don't want to ask difficult questions.
But journalism is journalism at the end of the day, and we're not here to serve any masters. Our masters are our audience.
Charlie Peters, he gave a voice to the victims of grooming gangs, and now, of course, it's led to a national inquiry.
GB News exists to make sure those concerns are put forward and people feel as though what they want to ask is put to those in power.
We don't take orders from anyone. We ask the questions our viewers and listeners want answering.
I know what's actually being discussed by my family and my friends. Us ordinary, hard-working British people have had enough. We've had enough.
They're fed up with the same old establishment nonsense. Everything that we do is opening up conversations that others are afraid to go at.
Why are you illegally bringing people into Britain?
That is our job. Our job is to get to the truth.
If it's important to you watching or listening at home, then it's important to us as well.
That's what makes us the fearless champion of Britain.
Hello there, very good to see you. Thank you for starting your day and your week with us here on GB News. Question, is Prince Andrew about to become the first royal for a generation to be investigated by police?
Well, the Met are looking into claims that the Prince asked a bodyguard to dig up dirt on Virginia's Louvre.
As pressure mounts for the government to introduce a new law to strip Andrew of his dukedom.
Ahead of a London summit on tackling illegal migration, there are warnings that Russian spies could be working with people smugglers to flood Europe with migrants.
The big grab, the Louvre heist, shocks the world as priceless jewellery is stolen in broad daylight. What did they steal? Where will it end up? And will a manhunt uncover who is responsible?
The Education Department announces new vocational courses called V-Levels for 16-year-olds. The Minister for Children and Families is telling us more just after 9 o'clock this morning.
Life in the countryside under threat again. New GB News data shows rural pubs and shops are closing at a record rate. The president of the Countryside Association took aim at the government.
I see no sign at all that this government is interested in rural policy. It seems to be working against us at every stage. What the Chancellor hasn't learned or understood is that you can't tax people into growth.
And in sport this morning, a good day yesterday for some, and not so good for others. Manchester United won away at Liverpool for the first time in a decade yesterday, and Spurs lost at home to Aston Villa. Max Verstappen wins the US Grand Prix, making his 5th World Championship a possibility with 5 races to go. And we wave goodbye to our Sumo friends after 5 sellout nights at the Royal Albert Hall.
Well, after what was a rather dull and drab week just gone, there's plenty of weather in the forecast this week. I'll have all of the details coming up shortly.
Thank you, Catherine. 2 minutes past 8 on this Monday morning. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. Loads of you getting in touch about driverless cars. Mark says, I would never get in a driverless car because they can't account for random behaviour of human drivers in other cars. You see people getting road rage because of others' reckless driving. Wouldn't trust it, basically. Tress says, well, we've already got a driverless government, so we don't need driverless cars. Howard said, we had driverless buses up here in Fife.
Really?
Apparently. And they worked OK until it rained, and then they couldn't read the road markings, and the drivers took over, and then they were taken off the road.
And then it's going to get worse, Paul, because it's going to be driverless planes.
Oh, planes. Yeah, but what happens when you mention road rage? So if you've got this guy, or whoever, I usually assume that it's a man, the worst ones with road rage, driving, and it's a driverless car, gets cut up by a driverless car, do they shout at the driverless car? Do they start screaming and shouting and give it all the big one and get out of the car and start pointing at a car without anybody in?
It'd be a waste of your energy, I think.
Wouldn't it? You see, but that whole thing is that there are less accidents with machinery and technology than there are with people.
I'm sure that's right.
No human error.
Problems.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's right.
I would say, I think I would sit in a driverless car.
You'd sit in one, would you go along on a journey?
Yes, I would.
So when you sit there and then the doors lock next to you, it's like, I think it's going to be fine, surely.
No. And I don't want all the cabbies to lose their jobs.
Exactly.
Like 15,000 London cabbies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's Uber drivers as well, isn't there, and Bolt drivers. But there'd be a lot of jobs gone in London if they came in across the board.
So does it apparently just look like a normal car and you see the steering wheel going around? There's just nobody sitting there?
Yeah, spooky.
Can you sit in the front seat?
I don't know. I'd say so.
Could you find all these things out for me, please? So
I think we should go investigate.
OK, right now we're going to go and speak to Nick Timothy. Nick is the MP, the opposition whip this morning, and he is a Conservative, because Conservatives have written to the Cabinet Secretary and the head of the Civil Service over the collapse of the Chinese spying trial, and they describe this as conflicting witness statements. So, Nick, what more can you tell us?
Well, look, the government's case is falling apart every single day. We get new news reports. Last week, we had the Security Minister come to Parliament. He denied that one of the most sensitive meetings in this whole story took place in September. By Wednesday, the Prime Minister came to Parliament and confirmed that that meeting did take place. And then on Thursday, they sent a junior minister who gave, I'm afraid, I think the worst performance I've seen in the House of Commons in my time there to date. He wasn't able to answer any question. He wasn't able to justify why what the Prime Minister had said had contradicted what the government had previously said in several key ways. And we need to get to the bottom of this. We need the truth, we need total transparency, because at the heart of this is something really, really important, which is our national security. This was a trial of two people who we believe were spying on Parliament for China. And the government, it is alleged, did not give the Crown Prosecution Service the information they needed to successfully prosecute these two men. So this is hugely important, and we can't have this drip of contradictory information that we've been getting over the past week or so.
So what are the next steps then, Nick? How do you get total transparency? I mean, you're calling for the publication of all of the meetings minutes, for all of the witness statements, for all of the correspondence. It doesn't look as though the government is going to give it to you. So where do we go from here?
Well, we'll use every means that are available to us to get to the bottom of this, because this is so important, and it's the job of the opposition to hold the government to account on all matters, but especially matters so important as national security. There are different things that we might be able to do using parliamentary process to demand the publication of certain documents. I know that various people from the government will be called before the different committees of Parliament and hauled over the coals there. But it's very important that we have an attitude from the government which shows respect to the public. You know, they've been caught out saying one thing and doing another in a whole variety of ways, whether that's about the budget and tax rises or about the ethics of Peter Mandelson, who they appointed as ambassador to America, and now this. It is really important that the Prime Minister is prepared to level with the British people and tell us what happened with this spy trial.
They would say what is more important is the relationship economically and bureaucratically with the Chinese government. They do not want to fall out with China. They have decided it is good business for us to be close to China, and that's the situation.
Well, this actually gets to the nub of it, doesn't it? Because effectively, the government has decided to sell our national security to China. They decided not to provide the Crown Prosecution Service with the information they needed to prosecute these two spies, because the Treasury and the Chancellor were trying to get investment out of China in a trip to Beijing at about the same time. Now, investment is important, the economy is important, but we are not doing anything to make ourselves any more prosperous or more secure by putting our national security second to our demands for Chinese investment. And anyway, often that Chinese investment just presents a further national security risk, because so often it's in our critical national infrastructure and it's used by China as a means of leverage against us. That's exactly what's going on now with the Chinese mega embassy that's planned in London, and it's what's happened in this spy trial here. We have to be free to look after our own interests and to make sure that we maintain our own security. And the government's approach to China means that we're not able to do that.
About Prince Andrew, because on Friday he announced he's no longer going to use the title of the Duke of York, but he does officially retain the dukedom, and as you know, that can only be removed by an Act of Parliament. So the MP for York Central, Rachel Maskell, is calling for him to be stripped of his dukedom. Do you support that call?
Well, I believe there's probably going to be an attempt to force some kind of debate in Parliament, and we can consider all of those things then. I think there's a couple of things that need to be said here. The first is, if you're a victim of a crime like this, it doesn't matter who the alleged perpetrator is. These things need to be investigated fully. Nobody is above the law, and everybody who's a victim of such terrible crimes should have the right to be heard by those in authority. The second thing is we don't actually know whether Prince Andrew is guilty of some of these things. We have to be quite careful in terms of the things we say about this. He obviously denies the allegations that are made against him. If this is debated in Parliament, then we'll come to all of those things then. But as things stand, all I know is that there is an attempt by a couple of MPs to try to force that debate.
Nick Timothy is the opposition whip. Thank you for your time, Nick, this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, at 10 minutes past 8, the French President Emmanuel Macron has said that authorities are doing everything possible to recover the priceless jewellery that was stolen from the Louvre yesterday.
It was unbelievable, really.
Oh, yeah.
Masked thieves. They took a ladder, they put it up, they broke through a balcony there and the windows, which were probably left open for them. This was 10:30 a.m. local time before fleeing on motorbikes just 7 minutes later. Now, obviously, the museum wasn't opened at 10:30.
It just opened.
Had it?
Yeah, literally just minutes after it opened. This is when the robbery took place. It was unbelievable.
Well, this is Neil Dutson, and he's the founder of Dutson Rocks. And good morning, Neil. And I presume with a name like Dutson Rocks, you know the price of a jewel.
Yeah, I kind of do. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think when it comes to jewellery like this, though, it's yes, everything has an intrinsic value. Diamonds, emeralds, sapphires all cost money, as does gold. But you know, it's the provenance and the history of the pieces that makes them pretty invaluable, isn't it?
That's about what's been stolen, and we keep hearing that they're priceless. I mean, how much do you think these would be worth? Millions of pounds if they were broken up.
Oh, totally. I mean, as pieces as they stand, they'll be worth hundreds of millions. Obviously, the loose stones, yes, there's always a market. It would just be a travesty because, you know, these are documented diamonds, sapphires and emeralds. And you know, sadly, they're going to be broken up and probably recut. Once they're recut, you know, they're invisible.
Do you think these were stolen to order, Neil? Sorry, do you think they were stolen to order? I mean, and that this was an inside job. What are your theories when you put it all together? The ladder up to the window being open. What do you think?
I think, you know, in answer to your first question, I did think about that in the night, actually. You know, could they have been stolen to order for someone a lot darker? And, you know, it just absolutely have it in a collection. You know, we watch these movies and there is definitely a movie here. You know, you look at art theft over the centuries and, you know, a lot of it's been hidden, hasn't it? I mean, I'm not a robber, so, you know, using a ladder and an open window clearly is a very simple explanation of getting into a building and out of a building quickly, isn't it? Scare tactics at 9:30 a.m. As soon as it opens, boom, you know, noise, disruption, smoke, you know, it's all going to affect, you know, what the public think, and everyone's going to panic, and therefore down through the panic and pandemonium, it makes it easier for these guys to get away with this robbery.
And Neil, what do you think is most likely to happen now? Do you think they'll stay as their pieces, as you say, or go into the black market, go into a dark kind of underbelly and someone will have it in their collection? Or do you think it will just be too hot? I mean, these are priceless French jewels and they will be broken up and then, as you say, they'll be invisible.
Yeah, I think, you know, again, there's three answers there, aren't there? And I think, yeah, the hot property here is what people probably really want in their collection, and you know, we might not see them for another 100 years. But the travesty will be to break them up and recut all the stones, and then suddenly, you know, they're back on the open market, and no one will ever know where they've originated from. That's the saddest thing, because of the, you know, they are incredible pieces of jewellery, as we all know, and with a unique history to France, right the way back to pre-Napoleon Bonaparte. And that's what's sad if it gets broken up.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was there, 6-7 months ago at the Louvre. I don't remember seeing these jewels, but I would have imagined they would have every piece of security possible around something that expensive. You know, that if you sneezed or vibrated in any way, an alarm would go off. But obviously not.
No, I'm really unsure about their security there. And you know, Louvre being a museum, you know, put it this way, if we've got the British Museum or the Natural History Museum over here, you know, it is security in place for such. expensive artifacts. Obviously, the crown jewels, and also you hear stories over here. You know, with the crown jewels, are they actually the crown jewels that we're looking at when we go to the Tower of London? So, you know, have they been replicated? You know, that would be a clever thing to do if suddenly someone turns around and says, well, actually, they aren't the real ones. They're in the vault downstairs. But yeah, I think it's a very sad story for France if they are.
And Neil, just briefly, because we're almost out of time with you, but have you heard this part of the story about they've dropped a tiara on their way out of the museum?
Yeah, I did see that. And actually, if you have a look at the size of that tiara, it's probably quite heavy. And it's diamonds and emeralds. I think there's about 1,300 diamonds and 56 emeralds. And yeah, it'll be heavy and dropped, and sadly, it's so old it can easily break. I think fixable though.
Imagine walking down the road and you just see this dropped tiara. 1,300.
Someone might be wearing it.
Wow.
I wouldn't even think it's real. I'd probably kick it into the gutter.
Oh, I'd be taking it. I wouldn't. I'd hand it back in.
Well, Neil, good luck with your rocks. Thank you very much indeed. Very interesting talking to you. Dutson Rocks man, Neil Dutson. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care. All the best.
Thank you. Good talking to you. Oh, gosh, the plot thickens.
It does.
Let us know what you think if you've got a theory about this one. Catherine Chalk, she's got a few theories about the weather picture.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, we have blustery, heavy showers across England and Wales today, with coastal gales in the south, but drier and brighter across Scotland. So we have low pressure dominating, bringing frequent showers across England and Wales. These are going to be heavy, containing the odd rumble of thunder and hail. Drier to the north of that into northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland with sunshine, but more persistent rain across the far north into Shetland. Otherwise, temperatures still around average for the time of year, but underneath all these heavy downpours and coastal gales in the south, probably feeling pretty unpleasant. So as we end Monday evening, we still hold on to this band of rain across Shetland. Otherwise, across much of Scotland, seeing some early evening sunshine. Likewise for Northern Ireland as well. Still a few showers around, but most of the showers still persisting across much of England and Wales. So they are still going to be heavy through this evening. So do take care during rush hour, as there could be some difficult driving conditions. The area of low pressure will shift its way eastwards though, so most of those showers will start easing away. We'll see some clear spells as we go Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then a focus for showers, more so coming into western areas. But under the clear skies, we may see temperatures fall, so chilly in some spots with a few mist and fog patches, but the winds generally easing as well. So as we start Tuesday morning, best of the sunshine really across eastern areas. Well, we'll hold on to the driest conditions for the longest, but otherwise through the day, further showers moving through, but they won't be as heavy or as frequent as what we'll see today. And the wind's not as strong, still breezy out there, but we lose those coastal gales. Otherwise, temperatures still around average, around 12 to 16 degrees. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, pictures, cameras, calendars, and we need your help to decide which pictures will feature in our GB News charity calendar. And this is the first time we've ever done this, so
yes, we've been calling for photos, haven't we? And we've received some truly incredible submissions from all around the country. So we've got mountains, we've got coastal, we've got rolling hills. I mean, they are beautiful, beautiful images. Look, there's castle there, gorgeous. Every single penny of profit from this calendar will go to the London Taxi Drivers Charity for Children, which has been bringing joy to disadvantaged and special needs children since 1928. So we'd really like your help to choose the images that best capture the beauty of Britain. So to vote, all you need to do is follow the QR code on your screen now. Just take your phone up to that QR code, scan it, and you can vote. Thank you very much.
OK, so these will be landscape pictures then. I think if you want to capture the essence of somewhere, people should be in them, including black taxi drivers.
Great idea.
You know, and the,
People in pubs.
yeah.
What else?
Football matches.
Football matches, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Down the calf.
Policemen and women on horses.
Yeah.
Horses are magnificent.
Oh, yeah. Maybe lots of animal pictures as well.
Oh, that'll start be a whole different calendar. That will be.
We could start a line of calendars at this rate.
Right, up next, we're talking about Prince Andrew, the latest that features him and what he has in store. Katie Nicholl, world correspondent, class act, always there for us. And are we going to Katie now or after the break?
After the break.
After the break, and she's going to be in the studio right after this.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Lee Purvis. Lee, I think last night there were probably 10 million armchair judges watching, but what was your verdict on what you saw?
I thought it was fantastic. I was slightly taken aback at how harsh the judges seemed to be, certainly for the first week of them at voting. I think Karen Carney's jive was fantastic, made me want to take up jiving. And I think Ross King got off really badly, actually. I felt quite sorry for him. I was quite surprised at how harshly marked he was. And having met him several times, obviously, in the showbiz scene and as a fellow journalist, you know, I knew how utterly nervous he was. And I think it's going to be a bumpy ride for all the contestants this year. The judges are really focusing on the footwork on the floor, and absolutely everyone needs to sort of up their game. But it's absolutely fabulous. You know, more than 100,000 sequins involved in the show that we saw last night, and it can only get bigger and better.
I think that that first programme is always the opportunity for people more to decide who is likely to get the chop rather than those that are going to make it through to the glitter ball. Because, I mean, you know, so many people are so close with their marking last night, and so many of them clearly show the opportunity of getting better as they go week after week. But it is usually quite easy to find, I think, who's going to be thrown out. What do you think?
Well, so I think Ross King, definitely, we'll see him probably go in literally a matter of weeks. I think Stephen Dennis, who played Paul Robinson for many years on our screens in Australian soap Neighbours, I don't think he's going to be in it for much longer either. Again, I felt quite sorry for him, and also having to dance to the theme tune of Neighbours was just pure genius.
GB News, the People's Channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Prince Andrew in the news all over the weekend, and again as we start a new week. He faces a potential police investigation. The Metropolitan Police are looking into claims that he pressured a bodyguard to dig up personal details on Virginia Giuffre. And of course all of this becomes more important because she's got a book which comes out tomorrow. She's now deceased, of course. What is in that book? That is the big question. Katie Nicholl, world correspondent, is here to answer it. Do you think they're under, the palace or under pressure with this book?
I think it was being under pressure knowing that this book was about to come out and that, you know, there are going to be further damaging allegations about Epstein and Prince Andrew in that. But I do think it was that Mail on Sunday exclusive that proved that Andrew had kept in touch for far longer than he'd claimed with Epstein. That was just so damaging because it proved, quite frankly, that he had lied. He had lied to Emily Maitlis in that Newsnight interview, and therefore that casts a huge shadow of doubt over what he said in the past. Now, we must point out, and that statement that dropped on Friday night out of Buckingham Palace, the first statement out of Buckingham Palace on Prince Andrew for many years, reinforced his denial of those allegations. He still denies those allegations. But I think there is a massive question over everything. And, of course, this book is just going to be murky for the Prince.
Yeah, and these stories just keep on coming, don't they? I mean, today in the papers, reports that the Crown Estate is under pressure to publish the terms of the lease of Royal Lodge. Now, this is where Prince Andrew lives with Sarah Ferguson.
Correct.
Tell us a bit more about this.
Well, he's lived at Royal Lodge for many, many years. He retains that house. He's got some special agreement with the Crown Estate because there's big questions over how he's financing his lifestyle at the moment. You know, the King has cut off that financial tap, and yet he's still living in a 30-room palatial home, and a lot of pressure on him to move out. He doesn't need that place. And in fact, when William and Catherine were looking for a new house, Royal Lodge was something that should have been perhaps on the table for them. Andrew doesn't want to leave. Now, we are seeing an era of transparency with the Crown, with its financial expenditure, and yet we've never seen details of this lease. So is he locked in at a rate that was agreed back in the 80s when it was gifted to him as a wedding present from the Queen? How much does that rent go up? How locked in is he with that agreement? I think people want to know the answer to these questions because I don't think it sits well with people that despite having relinquished his titles, he still has a very luxurious home in which to hide.
What's not sitting well with the general consensus out there, be it press, be it the general public? What is really annoying people about Andrew?
I think the fact that he manages to have just escaped any formal investigation.
Yeah, but he says, I didn't do any of this. He's got his lawyers on the case
go
with
into
that.
court and go and face an investigation and go and face the music. I mean, he paid Virginia Giuffre off. I mean, that was a $12 million settlement we understand was funded by the Queen. I mean, there are now calls for the Met Police to investigate these claims that he used his personal protection officer, again paid for by the British taxpayer, to dig up dirt on Virginia Roberts. I actually think people just want him to go away now. I think they want to hear nothing more about him. I think people are sick to the back teeth. But I think if he is going to appear, it can't be under that guise of silence. He has to say something.
We're seeing pictures, or we were just seeing pictures on the screen there of Sarah Ferguson and their daughters as well, Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice. I mean, how does all of this and the
and would they have a future
pages
within the royal family?
Yeah, how does it affect them?
I think it's a really interesting question. I think Beatrice and Eugenie potentially do. I know that the King is very fond of his nieces. And, you know, as we look at an increasingly skeletal, slimmed-down royal family, there is arguably a need for younger members of the family to be stepping up and helping on occasions, which Beatrice and Eugenie have. It's difficult, though, isn't it? Because there is always that risk that when they are out on public duties, their father will be mentioned or pulled into something. And, of course, we understand from reports over the weekend that Fergie took them over to Epstein's Petito Islands. I mean, that involves them.
Why is Prince William taking this so personally? Why is he getting involved? And obviously, there doesn't seem to be any love lost between him and Andrew.
Well, I mean, that body chemistry between them at the Duchess of Kent's memorial service said everything I think you need to know. It was almost William's absolute contempt for his uncle. He didn't want to be seen to be engaging with him at all. I mean, I've never seen him look quite that awkward. I think it's quite simply William recognises the damage that Andrew is capable of causing to the royal family. And, you know, I'm thinking back to that amazing interview he did for Apple TV with Eugene Levy, where the focus for William was very much on the future of the royal family. He believes in the monarchy. He wants it to continue. This is a detraction. It is damaging. As far as William is concerned, it's completely unnecessary. And I think while the King and William are very much on the same song sheet here, they are very much in step with one another. I think William has had from the outset a harder stance when it comes to his uncle. There's no sort of nostalgia or sentimental attachment there. It's like he needs to be distanced from this family now, and I think William wanted that quite a long time ago.
Well, you're not going to be distanced from us. We're going to be talking to you again. You're going to be back in the studio after 9 o'clock this morning, Katie. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And if you've got something to say to Katie or question her about or state your views, have your say. Please do have your say, and we'll try and reflect that.
Now, of course, Prince Andrew has previously and continues to deny any wrongdoing, and the Metropolitan Police are currently looking into the claims.
Okay. If you're travelling out and about today on the roads, here's what's happening.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Lane 2 on the M80 northbound between junctions 5 and 6 is blocked. Congestion persists westbound between Castleton and St Mellons. In York, the A64 eastbound between the A1237 and A19 junction remains closed. Drivers in Walsall on the M6 southbound face 15-minute delays. Nearby, the M25 clockwise experiences delays due to a collision. And on the trains, expect no service on the Gatwick Express and major disruptions on Greater Anglia services between Broxbourne and Stratford and London Liverpool Street. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Still to come, Eamonn's a happy bunny this morning, aren't you? Because there was victory for Manchester United last night.
And well done, Harry Maguire. He's the hero of the hour with all of this one. And,
look
this
at
is
you
Harry
two.
and I just sort of celebrating last night there.
Jumping up and down.
Jumping up and down.
Big hugs for Harry
You know,
Maguire.
Yeah, big Harry. Well done. Paul Coit with the latest right after this. Don't go away.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Dordme, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, DC.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Now, time is ticking on your chance to win the biggest prize of the year. Ticking away in the current Great British Giveaway, the biggest one we've ever had. Just 2 weeks left to get your entry in. You could drive away in a brand new motorhome and £30,000 in tax-free cash. Here's how.
She doesn't tell lies.
There's 2 weeks remaining in our latest, greatest giveaway, and a prize worth over £104,000 really could be yours. You could be in the driving seat at this Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxurious home from home comes with all the mod cons, comfortably sleeps your family of 4, and comes fully kitted out with bicycle rack and side awning. Plus, you can use it with your current driving licence. We'll also boost your bank account with a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. It only takes one entry to become a winner, and that winner really could be you. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes,
Now, that's good news, but there is bad news. There's been a complaint, and it's our duty to highlight that complaint and share with you what it is about.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's all about me. But
it's
your man here, Coit.
I'm quite happy to pass on the complaint. Message from Chumley Warner 79, and here it is. Is there any chance that when there is an F1 race on at unsociable hours, you refrain from reporting the results, as many will have recorded it? Thanks. I'm like Barry Took on Point of View, aren't I?
Well,
so the thing is, so it's like they used to do when you go, well, now look away and I'll give the result. So look away. Well done, Max Verstappen, who won the... Oh, sorry, turn the sound down. Sorry, I meant turn the sound down. Max Verstappen, who won the US Grand Prix.
I mean, I can totally watch highlights football game knowing the result.
Yes.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't understand why some people haven't got it in their mental capabilities to know what the result is and still watch how people...
You want to see the story unfold.
But with an F1, with a race, though,
no.
And you just watch it, can't you just, like, double the speed or something and you go fast forward a bit?
Yeah, just want to see the highlights.
So I'm sorry about that, but, you know, I've got a job to do. So
but it's not going to change.
No, he's with... now stands a chance of winning the World Championship.
If I hadn't watched Man United Liverpool yesterday, I could be saying, don't tell me the result.
Have you done that recently, though, honestly?
No.
Because I have done that recently.
Don't tell me the result.
Avoided the result. It's the old likely lads.
Look, it's
episode,
a lovely luxury if you could do it, but it's not realistic. Don't be stupid. Anyway, and I'm very happy to talk about the Man United result over and over and over again.
Manchester United, their first win at Anfield in nearly 10 years. So Liverpool have lost 4 games on the trot, cantered to the title, spent 450 million quid on new talent, but sometimes you can have too much of a good thing. You know, the great teams, like Alex Ferguson would bring a couple in, wouldn't he? And then would integrate with the team, a couple more. But it seems that there's almost too many were signed by Liverpool, all these late last-minute goals that they were winning by, that it seemed like that was the sign of a great team, but actually, maybe it's not. So anyway, Manchester United, you've got to be pleased with that. You must
well, to go to Anfield and win, you know, come away. And just a word about Harry Kane. He's had his ups, he's had his downs. Harry Maguire, forgive me, sorry.
I'm happy to talk about Harry Kane.
Yeah, but I mix him up with Harry Kane because he scores so many goals.
because he's such a great goal scorer.
Such a great goal scorer.
It's understandable.
But it's incredible that he scores so many winning goals.
But it also makes a difference, doesn't it, when it's like, oh, look, and there we are. When did this happen?
Well,
was this afterwards?
Celebrated. Yeah, look, we're just,
there
you know,
you go.
That's
look at you. You and Harry.
You're very close.
Any accusation that that's AI generated...
That's nonsense, isn't it? It's completely
nonsense. But anyway, great result for them. Paul, not such a great result for Spurs against Villa.
No.
And, you know, Villa, I think, are a good team. They weren't getting the results right.
Correct.
That's a big result for them to get.
It is, but they're on the turn. They're looking much better. Whereas Spurs don't have a great home record. You know, won 3 games in the last 18.
Do you think they just get too comfortable?
I don't. It's a really difficult thing to call, Ellie. It's like the style of football kind of suits them away from home more than it does when they are at home.
Yeah.
They've got the best away record in the Premier League, and they've got the worst home record.
Here's an interesting one. Brendan Rodgers, the manager of Celtic, why I bring him up is Dundee beat them yesterday. That was the first time since 1988.
Yeah.
So Dundee win that one. But there's a lot of talk about Brendan Rodgers being on the radar for, say, a team like Nottingham Forest.
Well, that's the thing. We've got Nottingham Forest. Of course, Ange Postecoglou went on Saturday. I mean, that was pretty brutal, wasn't it? It was like within 10 minutes of walking off.
Well, it wasn't brutal. It was
football.
I mean, how many games had he lost? 7?
Yeah, 8.
8. So
it's not good.
Actually, went to 9. It was, you know, the writing was on the wall there, and it was. But the thing is, now they're going to be looking for a new manager, and so Brendan Rodgers. Well, I don't know whether they look at him because he's not doing so well at Celtic, and it's Sean Dyche is the man that seems to be more likely to be going in at Nottingham Forest more than anybody else.
He's not doing so well at Celtic?
Well, I mean, look at how Celtic are not doing well. Celtic are having a terrible
they're top of the league.
They're not top of the league. They are not. No,
they're not.
Hearts are top.
Oh.
So it's not Celtic. They're 5 points behind them.
But Sean Dyche is the man that you think's the favourite.
He used to play for Forest. It would suit him, lives in the area, everything, and it would suit him to try and stable things up.
Okay.
But I need to talk about the Sumo. The Sumo has come to an end. We've loved talking about Sumo. It's been at the Royal Albert Hall. Look, let's have a look, shall we? The wave goodbye. Everybody's gone. The Grand Sumo tournament there. That's the winner. He's 25 years old.
Wow.
Hoshoroyu. And there they are, all waving goodbye. Look at that, very moving at the Albert Hall. And it's been a fantastic success. So many people, it's been a complete sellout as well.
Yeah, and they've also sold out of food. They ran out of noodles, did you hear that?
Did they run out of noodles?
Ran out of noodles and soy sauce and rice and everything.
But the winner, did you know he got a huge bottle of soy sauce, which is actually bigger than he was?
I thought that was AI generated, but it's not.
No, it's real.
It's real.
That's real. It's him that's AI generated, not the bottle of soy sauce.
Yeah,
but that wasn't it, by the way. That was the trophy, not the soy sauce.
The soy sauce is a great picture, yeah.
Lovely. OK, Paul, excellent stuff.
Hopefully no complaints tomorrow.
No,
I'll try my best.
And, you know, as for not replaying finished races and football matches, whatever, it ain't going to happen. Get over it, right? It's not going to happen.
Great. Thanks, Coity.
Still to come.
Got a job to do.
We've already spoken about robot drivers today.
How do you feel about this one? Teenage bus drivers. I think I know how you're going to feel about that. How would you feel about a 17-year-old driving your bus?
Well, I got into a helicopter.
Oh, of course you did, yeah.
2 years ago.
Oh, bus a helicopter.
Just slip that one in,
The pilot was 18.
Nah, I don't like that.
And I thought to myself,
Did it give you the heebie-jeebies?
Yes, he looked 14, you know what I mean? But if you can do it, you can do it.
I was going to say, did you survive it? But
survived.
Clearly he lived to tell the tale.
That's good.
Don Neeson and Chris Akabusi, they will tell you all about it right after this. OK, we'll be back after this short break.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean all clear skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
It's an unsettled picture across much of the Mediterranean over the next couple of days, with heavy showers around, particularly across northern parts of Spain and Portugal, southern parts of France, northern parts of Italy, perhaps even some snow over the Alps too. Southern parts of Italy, parts of Greece and northern parts of Turkey faring better in terms of some sunny spells, and temperatures quite widely in the high teens or low 20s for many, but with a bit more dry weather around as we head through the second half of the week. Those temperatures on the rise into the low, potentially mid-20s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Already, you can just see it buzzing. The New Zealand-France game is going on, the bronze final, in the stadium at the moment, and there's about 45,000 people already in the stadium watching it. So the energy in this place is unbelievable, and the excitement, because this game is a real game of jeopardy, the final between England and Canada.
You've got caps galore. You've been involved in coaching men and women's rugby. So, you won in 1994. What's it like to be a winner?
Well, this is the shirt that I wore back in the day in 1994. This is my World Cup winning shirt, so I'm hoping it's going to bring a bit of luck to the girls. But it was an incredibly special time. But for me to see how the game has changed, we had 6,000 people watch us win that World Cup, and now women's sport in this country, it's our Lionesses, the Red Roses, the Cricket World Cup is the tickets are on sale for that next year, and people are choosing to watch women's sport and really, really enjoying the event. So it's fantastic, and the change over that 30-year span is quite remarkable.
What do you think has made the difference? Why is it becoming, as you say, football is the same. Why is it becoming more acceptable now? And not just for women and girls to follow the sport as well, but I go to West Ham regularly for my sins, but so many men are now starting to pay a little bit of attention without being too sneery.
Well, absolutely, but I think the biggest thing is the quality of the product. Because the girls have been given contracts and are now able to train, not have to go to work and then leave a full day's work and come training and then do almost a second job in order to deliver on the skills. Both the Lionesses, the Roses, everybody now at the top end of the game is being financially rewarded for it, so they can actually concentrate on their sport.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock, only on GB News.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers in the company of Dawn Newsom and Chris Akabusi. Morning, you two.
Morning.
Chris, would you trust a teenage bus driver?
Assuming that the teenage bus driver is well qualified and well experienced, I suspect that I would. I was a teenage HGV3 driver, and I trusted myself to do that when I was a young soldier.
Very good.
There's four.
HGV3 is a big vehicle.
It's a 4-ton truck. It's a 4-ton truck.
Not an articulated lorry.
Yeah, it's not articulated. Yeah, but it could carry 20 guys in the back of the 4-ton truck and go up and down.
Responsibility.
Yeah, and it is a big responsibility, but you do get well trained in it as a soldier.
Yeah.
So, assuming that these guys are well trained, I would do. But having said that, driving a bus in London, or not just London, any major city.
Yeah.
You got and with cyclists come up on the inside, there's a lot of dangers I can imagine there.
It'd be hard to manoeuvre, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
Get round
to get anywhere.
Bendy streets.
Yeah.
All that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's a big responsibility. I think it's physically exerting.
Yeah.
Whether you're man or woman driving one. So I have respect for people who do it. But
couldn't you still drive a bus, Chris? Your licence lets you drive a bus.
That was what I was surprised at, that I could drive a minibus, but I can drive a 4-ton lorry with a trailer on the back of it. I wouldn't trust myself to do that.
No, I'm not getting on your bus.
The thing is, there's a shortage of.
There's 4,000 shortage of coach drivers and bus drivers.
Yeah.
There are. Department of Transport do have a limitation. They can drive at 30 miles. Now, I'm not quite sure if that's in town or what. So there are.
But the thing is, if you bring the age down, there'll be more people available, and hopefully those folk will be eager to actually drive.
Yeah, and we have an awful lot of unemployed youngsters at the moment. So it would be good. It makes sense. If they're trained properly, why not? What's the problem with it?
Okay.
This is a story that's caught our eye, Dawn. Penguin bars can't be classed as chocolate.
Ready?
Put on
If
the
you
clock.
like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club. Ellie's looking at us blankly. It's a televisual advertising campaign from back in the dark ages. Advertising Club biscuits, which were sold on the fact they had a load of chocolate.
Yeah.
Well, evidently, you can't say they've got chocolate now.
No.
No, I know.
Are they biscuits or are they chocolate bars?
Well, it's the rise of cocoa. The cost of cocoa is making it not viable to have chocolate or a certain amount of chocolate in the bar. Either you're going to have shrinkflation, a little bar like that, or you're going to have the same size bar with more cocoa, less cocoa and more shea butter.
Yeah, because the maker of Club and Penguin, basically, because cocoa is now so expensive because of the growing conditions, they've downgraded the amount of cocoa powder in their products, so you can't say it's chocolate flavour.
No.
I know. It's
apparently
the world is ending.
But apparently the taste is not that much different. So
the thing is, it's different. I mean, all these changes, just for big companies to make profit, is incredible. So we've got. Penguin bars are affected by this, and our Club
biscuits, What's your favourite Club as a kid?
Orange.
Orange?
Orange,
Yeah.
Mint isn't bad.
No, but orange
I didn't like that.
wasn't it?
Orange was elite.
I remember when I went to America and eating their chocolate. I don't know if they got more.
Oh, the Hershey's, that's not chocolate.
Disgusting.
No, not
It's
chocolate.
disgusting.
No.
So hopefully we're not going to go in that direction.
Well, I had a packet of, fudge, fingers of fudge. And they are ridiculous. I mean, they are literally the size of my finger.
Yeah, they're like treats.
That was a great advertising jingle as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. God, this is shocking.
Yeah, I can't...
Finger of fudge is just enough to give your kids a treat.
That's right, that's true.
Oh, come on. I'm a child of the 70s.
I was just reading this. So 2 years ago, a tonne of chocolate, or cocoa, was £2,600, right? Mm-hmm. Now, for a tonne, is £5,700.
Yeah.
So that's why it's all so expensive.
That's why it's all jumped up.
Gosh. Chris, what is a V level?
Yeah, so a third pathway now for... Yeah, a third pathway for young people, 16 to 19, going into tertiary education. You've got your A levels, you've got your tech levels, and now the V level, vocational level qualification. I think it's a very good idea. It's just been launched this week, I believe, and let's see how it goes. There is a skills shortage, and training people in vocational studies, which, I mean, I seem to think that that's...
We're going to talk to a government minister on this just at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and the government gets bashed for many different things, but I think this is a good idea, that there's some people who were pushed down the A-level route, pushed down the university route. Actually, their skill sets are in their creativity and vocational activities, giving them the required exposure, qualifications and experience to go on and find a way in the workplace, and to mitigate against these people who are not in employment, education and training just because they haven't got the academic smarts.
Yeah, so interesting. I was listening to someone over the weekend who was saying the new generation of millionaires are going to be electricians because the number of data centres for AI, that they need those skills to get those data centres up and running. There's going to be so much work for skilled people.
We have a huge shortage of all trades people in this country.
I know, but I was watching Educating Yorkshire last night on Channel 4.
His favourite programme.
Yes.
Yeah, and the amount of these children who were looking so forward to leaving school at 16. And I thought to myself, you know not what you're doing, you really don't, you're too young.
For the best days.
I would have been distraught if I hadn't got back to do A-levels at 16. And I was lost at 18 when I had to leave school. I just thought, what the heck am I going to do now? Sort of thing. But there's a lot to be said, but you have to get the right qualifications.
I mean, again, I left school at 16.
Yeah.
And as I said, to join the army, and it probably was the best thing for me. For me, hanging on just to be more disruptive for you while you're studying your A-levels probably wouldn't have been a good idea for you or the rest of the people in school. So it's horses for courses, I guess. is what I'm saying.
Dawn, 1 minute. Tell us about middle-class foragers.
Absolutely, yeah. Britain's woodlands and hedgerows are getting stripped bare by middle-class foragers as interest in local and seasonal produce soars. This is according to research by Waitrose, who say searches for blackberry preserve...
Oh, this is my mother. This is what she does.
...and demand for mushroom recipes are soaring. However, the various country organisations are saying...
I would never trust
damaging
myself
stuff.
or anyone else to pick wild mushrooms.
No, not a mushroom.
No.
Yeah.
But horse chestnuts, the horse chestnuts are beautiful this year.
Are they?
They are so sweet. Yeah.
What do you use the horse chestnut for, then?
Well, you can put them with your beef and
Chestnuts
lamb.
roasting?
Yeah.
Soup? Or
Yeah,
mustard
soup,
soup, yeah.
But also, you just roast them and eat them as a snack. They are so sweet at the moment.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, they've been glorious. So, at the Woburn Estate, I've been clearing up because no one touches them.
No one touches them?
No one touches them. There's loads of them there.
They might now.
Well, we'll finish touching you two. Thank you very much for today. Very, very enjoyable. And we say hello, good morning to Catherine Chalk. She's got your weather picture, which isn't great.
Yeah, it's grim.
No,
it's all right.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, we have blustery, heavy showers across England and Wales today, with coastal gales in the south, but drier and brighter across Scotland. So we have low pressure dominating, bringing frequent showers across England and Wales. These are going to be heavy, containing the odd rumble of thunder and hail. Drier to the north of that into northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland with sunshine, but more persistent rain across the far north into Shetland. Otherwise, temperatures still around average for the time of year, but underneath all these heavy downpours and coastal gales in the south, probably feeling pretty unpleasant. So as we end Monday evening, we still hold on to this band of rain across Shetland. Otherwise, across much of Scotland, seeing some early evening sunshine. Likewise for Northern Ireland as well. Still a few showers around, but most of the showers still persisting across much of England and Wales. So they are still going to be heavy through this evening. So do take care during rush hour, as there could be some difficult driving conditions. The area of low pressure will shift its way eastwards though, so most of those showers will start easing away. We'll see some clear spells as we go Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then a focus for showers, more so coming into western areas. But under the clear skies, we may see temperatures fall, so chilly in some spots with a few mist and fog patches, but the winds generally easing as well. So as we start Tuesday morning, best of the sunshine really across eastern areas. Well, we'll hold on to the driest conditions for the longest, but otherwise through the day, further showers moving through, but they won't be as heavy or as frequent as what we'll see today. And the wind's not as strong, still breezy out there, but we lose those coastal gales. Otherwise, temperatures still around average, around 12 to 16 degrees. Bye-bye.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M8 northbound, lane 2 is blocked between junctions 5 and 6 due to a traffic incident. The M4 eastbound faces delays from an accident between Penlegar and Llangefferlac. All lanes of the A64 eastbound in York are closed due to a collision. The A38 southbound in Derbyshire is congested between the A516 and A5132. A collision on the M25 clockwise between junctions 27 and 28 has closed 3 lanes. And on the trains, Gatwick Express has no service, with major disruption on Greater Anglia between Broxbourne and Stratford London. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
There's 2 weeks remaining in our latest, greatest giveaway. You could be in the driving seat of this Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxurious home from home comes with all the mod cons. Plus, you can use it with your current driving licence. We'll also boost your bank account with a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. It only takes one entry to become a winner. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. Is Prince Andrew about to become the first royal for a generation to be investigated by the police?
Well, that's because the Metropolitan Police are looking into claims the Prince asked a bodyguard to dig up dirt on Virginia Giuffre, who now, of course, has died. And as pressure mounts for the government to introduce a new law to strip him of his dukedom, earlier we spoke to the opposition whip, Nick Timothy.
If you're a victim of a crime like this, it doesn't matter who the alleged perpetrator is. These things need to be investigated fully. Nobody is above the law.
Now the news, ahead of a London summit on tackling illegal migration, there are warnings that Russian spies could be working with people smugglers to flood Europe with migrants.
The Louvre heist, you've been airing your opinions on this one. We'll reflect those shortly. Shocks the world as priceless jewellery stolen in broad daylight. But will a manhunt uncover who is responsible and where have the jewels gone?
The Education Department announces new vocational courses called V-Levels for 16-year-olds. The Minister for Children and Families is telling us more about that in just a few minutes' time.
Well, after what was a rather dull and drab week just gone, there's plenty of weather in the forecast this week. I'll have all of the details coming up shortly.
OK, a very good morning to you. You're very welcome starting your day and starting your week with me, Eamonn Holmes.
And me, Ellie Costello. And this is GB News Breakfast.
First things first, let's talk to Josh McAllister, who's Minister for Children, Families and Wellbeing. Josh, a very good morning to you, and this is because the government, as we have been just talking in the last 15 minutes or so, plan to introduce what are called V-levels. Now, what is a V-level? I've heard of A-levels and O-levels, but what is a V-level?
Yeah, good morning. So the government is announcing today a big change to vocational education in England, where we want to replace the really messy and confusing system at the moment where students are choosing from one of or a number of 900 different BTEC qualifications, and we want to replace that with a simpler system of V-levels, vocational level qualifications. There's a couple of things to know about this. One is that it will allow students to mix and match V and A levels, so they'll be able to do a bit of academic qualification as well as something more vocational. And what this is going to allow young people to do is climb the ladder from where they finish school with extra support and a clearer sense of direction to then get into jobs that we know are out there in the economy, but where employers are struggling to recruit because we don't have the skills.
Josh, what I like about this is a way of making education relevant. It doesn't really matter whether I agree with it, Ellie agrees with it, or whatever. It's relevant, and I think it gives youngsters a really good stake in life and society and in their future.
Absolutely. So on Friday, I was back in my constituency in Whitehaven and Workington, and I was at a celebration event for just over 150 young people who've completed an apprenticeship to go and work at Sellafield in the nuclear industry, and the excitement, the energy in their eyes that they've been able to make that transition from school to do something that they love and are passionate about, and then can go into, get a job, have their own security, earn their own income, have a sense of pride in the work that they're doing. That's absolutely what we're trying to do with this, and it's about V-levels, but also apprenticeships, and making sure that the college system works for everybody.
Are these replacing BTECs?
They will, yeah. So between now and 2027, we'll replace the confusing landscape of 900 qualifications with a cleaner, simpler system of V-levels.
Right, OK. In other news, can I ask you about Prince Andrew, who's been making the front pages for a number of days now, but now we have calls from the MP for York Central, who's saying that she wants the Duke of York to be stripped, removed officially, his dukedom. As you know, this can only be removed by an Act of Parliament. Would you support those calls?
The government is going to take its lead from Buckingham Palace. On Friday, the King and the royal family made the decision, rightly, in our view, to remove titles from Prince Andrew. That's right. I imagine over the course of the week there'll be lots of questions, and it's right that they're asked, but lots of questions about Prince Andrew's arrangements and his setup. But I would refer questions really to go to the royal family and the palace about that, rather than to the government. We want to make sure we, I guess, keep a clear distinction between His Majesty's government, you know, what we're doing, and the decisions that rightly need to be made, and it appears are being made by the King and the royal family.
There's an alarming story on the front page of the Times this morning from the Bulgarian government, and they say they've got evidence that Russian spies are helping gangs that are smuggling migrants into Europe. What's your reaction to this story, that essentially hostile state actors are attempting to destabilise this country?
Yeah, it's deeply concerning, and I think the Foreign Secretary has made some comments about this, that it's not entirely surprising that Russia is seeking to do this. This is part of the Russian playbook. The National Crime Agency here in the UK has had some success actually in intercepting boats that are being smuggled across from Bulgaria to the UK. We've had some action on that, and we're boosting enforcement action. But the wider problem here, of course, is that illegal boat crossings are that. They're illegal, whether it's an attempt by Russia to bring people across and cause trouble, or whether it's other forms of gangs. We need to come down really hard on it and find long-term solutions that are actually going to cut off this problem at the root.
Josh, good talking to you this morning. I wish you every success with your V-level crusade and initiative on that, and we hope it helps so many young people to give them a future and give them an idea what they want to do for a job and a career. So good luck with that, and thank you very much, Steve, for your time this morning.
Thank you.
I always find it amazing that youngsters, personally, you know, they don't know what they want to do.
No.
And I know a lot of people say, I didn't know what I wanted to do, whatever it is. I knew from 10 what I wanted to do. And I think if you set your mind, even if people don't believe in you and believe that you can do it, and no one ever believed that I could be a broadcast journalist, a lot of people would say, you're still not one, Eamonn. But there you, I think every day is a school day, every day is a learning day. And you try with that. And I'll tell you this, if you work at something you love, you never work a day in your life.
It's very true.
And that is the thing, you know, because you imagine if you're working for something or doing something that you can't stand, if you don't like animals and you're being a vet, if you don't like figures and you're working as an accountant, do something you like.
Yeah. Life's too short to do anything else, isn't it?
Well, you could do something else. You could win the biggest prize of the year in our competitions, the Great British Giveaway. Here's what it is, and it could be yours.
There's 2 weeks remaining in our latest, greatest giveaway, and a prize worth over £104,000 really could be yours. You could be in the driving seat at this Benamar Primero motorhome. This luxurious home from home comes with all the mod cons, comfortably sleeps your family of 4, and comes fully kitted out with bicycle rack and side awning. Plus, you can use it with your current driving licence. We'll also boost your bank account with a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. It only takes one entry to become a winner, and that winner really could be you. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690, Derby, DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Always good to talk to our political editor, Chris Hope. We're going to Westminster to speak to him now. And again, every day is a busy day for you. It has to be said. And we don't even know where to begin. Let's begin with the Russians, right? Are they trying to mess us up and corrupt us up so much by encouraging migrants to come to the country, us not being able to control them, and everybody becoming very disquiet about the whole thing?
Yeah, that certainly is. Morning, Eamonn, and morning, Ellie from Westminster. That's right. That's a new idea. We knew all about, of course, these organised people smugglers. Mark White has been covering that for years now for us from across the north coast of France. But the new idea here is it's state-sponsored. You've got Russia, of course. We have huge issues with Russia as a country, of course, after their invasion of Ukraine. They are now trying to do that to undermine our benefit system, undermine our welfare system. All this comes ahead of a major summit on Wednesday. We'll be seeing the Prime Minister meeting with other Western Balkan nations. The big concern is that the gateway to Europe is through the Western Balkans, and it's important that we can try and deal with that and stop it at source. But the idea of Russia being involved is a whole new idea here. We hadn't previously thought that Russia would be sponsoring people smuggling to undermine the way we run our country.
Chris, the government's going to have to look at this, aren't they? Because we're talking about smashing the gangs. I mean, you could argue that's going, very badly, with over 50,000 people crossing the channel so far. But this is more than smashing the gang. This is smashing out Russian spies.
That's right. It's deeply worrying, and I think it shows, the scale of what's going on here, and that's why you've got Yvette Cooper, the new Foreign Secretary. She has taken a much more forward-facing approach towards people smugglers, because, of course, she saw that issue and really barely made a scratch on it, I would argue, in the Home Office. So the hope is they can do more there. We've heard also from Shabana Mahmood. They're now going to try and ramp up this one in, one out scheme. They got 16 people out from the UK over the weekend. I think there's now an increasing expectancy that we're going to see more of these flights taking shape, and that could mean that after maybe 1 or 2 years, the one in, one out scheme is working and is acting as a deterrent, of course. But by then, they also have to get past the rather large number of people stuck in hotels and get them out of the country before this government can start controlling the small boats crisis. Baby steps, Ellie and Eamonn.
Well, so much for you to cover and much more, Chris. Have a good day. We'll see you throughout GB News throughout that day. Thank you very much indeed. Now, still to come.
Could the Prime Minister change the law to strip Prince Andrew of his dukedom? Katie Nicholl is with us, and she's got all the answers. We're going to be chatting to her next.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline.
Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Thanks for having your say, which we will now reflect on the Louvre burglary, what would you call it? Theft?
Robbery, the heist.
Robbery, the heist.
Yes.
Alison says, this idea of vandalising important historic jewellery and gems really upsets me.
Yeah.
That means, you know, they steal it and then they pluck out the diamonds and things in it.
The emeralds.
And they make it into something else.
Yeah.
I hope they find these scumbags who did this.
Yeah, and it'll be a race against time, won't it, before they break it all up. Kevin's been in touch saying, stolen jewels, this is like something out of the Pink Panther. Gary says, I suppose they better hope they were stolen to order for a collector. They will hope they won't be broken up. That's the best they can hope for, and then they may get them back at some point in the future.
Eleanor, Prince Andrew and Sarah have never seemed right to me. Something a little desperate about her. She's a fame wannabe. My daughter said it yesterday that she looks mean. Well, she's not mean. She's actually very nice. She's very, very approachable.
And Jack says, I feel for William. He's a king in every way. He's so regal. Catherine is too. And then there's this uncle. I just think they should cut him off and kick him out of the royal home. It needs to go to someone deserving, like Edward and Sophie.
Well, they shine very well. They do indeed. Katie Nicholl, royal correspondent, is with us now. Katie, that thing about Sarah Ferguson, she is incredibly approachable. I wouldn't say the same about Andrew, but I would say she's a very likeable person.
Yeah, I think she is. I've met Sarah on many occasions. She's incredibly kind. I always remember her signing one of her children's books when I had my little daughter. You know, just things that she didn't have to do that I think say so much about her. And I think whatever these two have done, whatever their affiliation with Epstein, the one thing I think you can't take away from them is that they have raised two absolutely gorgeous girls. Beatrice and Eugenie are real crackers. They really do stand out, and I can't help but feel terribly sorry for them in all of this, because they are very unwitting. It feels terribly unfair that they've been put at the centre of it.
They seem very solid as a family.
They do. I think you're right, Eamon. I think they're incredibly solid as a family, incredibly close. And, you know, I think it says a lot about their sort of strength of character. I mean, even last week, Eugenie was posting on her Instagram page. She was at a children's hospital doing a collaboration collaboration with that hospital and her art world. Of course, she's the patron of a charity that is actively campaigning against human trafficking. I mean, there is a huge conflict of interest, and yet she's not stepped down from the charity. She will continue that work. So you've got these really strong women in Beatrice and Eugenie, and I would agree with you in Sarah too, but I think there just needs to be seen to be that distance at the moment.
This view that we got from Jack saying I'd cut him off, I'd kick him out of the royal home, there is this public outcry, isn't there, about Prince Andrew still sitting in Royal Lodge with Sarah Ferguson. Do you think there is a chance that he'll be kicked out?
Look, anything is possible. And, you know, having covered this beat for the number of years I have, the twists and the turns that these stories take, it is possible. I think the king, who has remained very magnanimous in all of this and been incredibly tolerant and patient towards Andrew. Possibly that patience is wearing thin, and we're seeing evidence of that. Maybe he's going to have to downsize. Maybe he is going to have to give up that royal residence. It's not just Royal Lodge, which is under scrutiny. All of the royal residences at the moment are being looked at. But I think there needs to be transparency. I think the Crown Estate does need to release this lease, and people need to see it. And I think when stories emerge, as they did over the weekend in the Mail on Sunday, about Andrew using his PPO, that taxpayer-funded protection officer, to dig dirt on Virginia Roberts, you know, that is going to have Britons up in arms. And unfortunately, those that are sort of questioning a hereditary monarchy may cause them to say, well, do we actually need the royal family when they behave this way? And that is damaging for the monarchy as an institution.
We heard on Friday that Prince Andrew is no longer going to use his Duke of York title. He does officially retain the dukedom.
He does.
Doesn't he?
He does.
So how would he potentially be stripped of that? And could he be stripped of his prince title?
OK, so he could technically be stripped of his dukedom, but it would require an Act of Parliament to totally revoke that. There has clearly been an agreement reached between Andrew and the King in that he will not use that title. He's relinquished it, but he retains it. And that's the same with his HRH title. He is a blood-born prince, son of Queen Elizabeth II, and therefore that title remains. But again, it could take an Act of Parliament to revoke it. I don't believe it's ever been done. There was also the Titles Deprivation Act that dates back to 1917, which also gives Parliament the ability to revoke a title. I don't think it's going to get to that stage. What's very clear in all of this is that Andrew has been allowed to fall on his sword. The King's allowed him to take the narrative and make it look as if it's been his choice. Of course, we know it hasn't, but it's given a man who counts his title as more important probably than all else, just to retain a sense of dignity, I think, in all of this, if there could be a possible shred left at all at this stage.
How do you think Prince William is going to handle all of this as monarch? There's a suggestion that it could be different to what we've seen go before.
I think it's going to be, and I think we've seen and heard enough from the Prince of Wales to see that the landscape, when he will one day be king, is going to look very different, as it has to. The monarchy has to evolve in order to survive, but reports in the papers this weekend, Sunday Times, suggesting that Andrew won't be at his coronation. I'm sure that will be the case. But what about the state funeral when that happens? Are they going to ban Andrew from his brother's funeral? There are so many questions that I think are unanswered. But I think for now, the point is he needs to be seen to be distanced from the royal family, very far removed from public life. He's not going to be at Sandringham this Christmas. I don't think we'll see him at Easter services. We're certainly not going to see him front and centre at the royal family.
Funny, we were talking about what a lovely unit as a family of four they are. Would it really matter if he was at Sandringham, or does it matter to him? But my point is, they could have a lovely day, the four of them together. But do you think for him, he wants and needs to be seen?
I do. I do. I mean, I think he does. I think that visibility has been so important. And you saw that at the memorial service for the late Duchess of Kent, that need to be shoulder by shoulder, and that terribly awkward body language between William and his uncle, where William just didn't want to be seen to be entertaining his uncle's company at all. But for Andrew, it's almost like, well, look where I am. Look, I'm back at the centre of the royal family. We're not going to see that again.
OK. Katie, thank you very much indeed. Very interesting to hear all of that.
Now, of course, Prince Andrew has previously and continues to deny any wrongdoing, and the Metropolitan Police are currently looking into the claims.
Get some breaking news coming in from Paris. The Louvre will remain closed all of today. French police there are continuing their investigation of the heist, how these people got in, who they were, what they actually did steal. priceless jewellery stolen with all of that, and what a heist it was.
Yeah, and the detectives are trying to, well, they got those people out of the museum very, very quickly yesterday, obviously trying to maintain that any tracks that may have been on the floor, any fingerprints they could have found, trying to keep that forensic evidence intact. So that's why it's closed, I assume, today as well. Actually, the Culture Minister has been speaking this morning, saying that people being able to park a furniture hoist in the middle of Paris, get people into the museum, steal priceless jewels, it just gives France a terrible image.
Miriam is with us now, and she's on air from 9:30. Who are you with today?
Well, I will have Andrew. He will be here.
Right.
He sent me in to be his warm-up act, I think.
Okay.
Great. So what have we got on the show?
Well, we will be doing the latest on this heist. I mean, an absolutely incredible event. Of course, terrible for the historical value of these jewels, but quite an astonishing feat, no doubt, will become a film. Also, of course, we'll be having the latest on Prince Andrew. Will Parliament act to remove his dukedom? We're also going to be addressing the economy, because Sir Tony Blair, in a new book, has claimed that we're taxed too highly and that we should have fewer people in the higher rate of tax. But of course, his government, starting in 1997, was the start of the stealth tax rises that have affected people so badly. So all that and lots more.
Fantastic. Very good. Have you seen the story about Russian spies?
Not Russian, as well as Chinese
Russian
now.
spies. Russian spies are helping, well, encouraging migrants into Europe.
Yes, I did see this. And, of course, the Hungarians and the Poles have been warning for a long time that Russia have been using the pushing of migrants over borders as a kind of tactic. In fact, they did it before they invaded Ukraine as a kind of preempt to that attack. So all sorts going on in Europe. But that's all coming up at 9:30 with Andrew Pearce, who will be here with me. But first of all, here is your weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, we have blustery, heavy showers across England and Wales today, with coastal gales in the south, but drier and brighter across Scotland. So we have low pressure dominating, bringing frequent showers across England and Wales. These are going to be heavy, containing the odd rumble of thunder and hail. Drier to the north of that into northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland, with sunshine, but more persistent rain across the far north into Shetland. Otherwise, temperatures still around average for the time of year, but underneath all these heavy downpours and coastal gales in the south, probably feeling pretty unpleasant. So as we end Monday evening, we still hold on to this band of rain across Shetland. Otherwise, across much of Scotland, seeing some early evening sunshine. Likewise for Northern Ireland as well. Still a few showers around, but most of the showers still persisting across much of England and Wales. So they're still going to be heavy through this evening. So do take care during rush hour, as there could be some difficult driving conditions. The area of low pressure will shift its way eastwards though, so most of those showers will start easing away. We'll see some clear spells as we go Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then a focus for showers, more so coming into western areas. But under the clear skies, we may see temperatures fall, so chilly in some spots with a few mist and fog patches, but the winds generally easing as well. So as we start Tuesday morning, best of the sunshine really across eastern areas. Well, we'll hold on to the driest conditions for the longest, but otherwise through the day, further showers moving through, but they won't be